So we tried to do the 360 cam, and we tried to go live, but it wasn't working. I don't know what's going on. Smash the like button though, help us beat the algorithms, or you could be lame. Alright, so we're just gonna do the traditional one so we can figure out the camera. As you can see, we got our sign right here. There's the most interesting man on flat earth. This is the infamous fountain in Chicago. What's up, everybody? I wanted the 360, that way it had a wider view, you could see everyone around, but we'll have to figure it out for the Bucks game. I don't know, it didn't work. Alright, anyway, in a world.
There's a surplus, but they tell us there are shortages. Credit economy mortgages, that's supported with empty fortresses. The rest of the world is this with ships important. This, of course, it is extortion. This in accordance with what's really just a phony tricks. We're really what you do and disapprove with this. The little we were stolen tricks. Pedophilia and the government endorsing it. Yeah, eugenics is exactly what abortion is. You just vilify those who supporting you. Geopolitically, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real? Rappers acting say they high, say they sip pills. Glorify suicide so they get the deals. Big pharma set it up just to flip the pills. Control the music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in a field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?
I saw you guys say it looks distorted. Yeah, no, I got to keep the omnidirectional mic faced away. So I had to come up there to fix the camera. But anyway, alright, so we're just going to try our best. What's up to all the legends in the chat? Sorry, we thought we were going to have 360, man, and when it loaded, you could go through and see everyone. There's a bunch of people over here. There's a bunch of people that come sit down right here. There are people over here. There are people over here. We just want you to see the fountain. And so maybe later in the stream, I will flip it more where you can see them. So I showed you guys, we got the sign here and everything, so. Will you zip this up? Thank you. All right, we're just gonna get into it. In a world. Cheers. So we're offering $100 cash to anybody here that can answer 3 questions right. $100. $100 cash if you get 3 questions right about the globe Earth. You'll probably think it's like, oh, they got to be crazy questions, or why would I offer $100? They're actually super easy questions. $100 cash if you get 3 questions right about the Earth. And the first question is, according to the globe Earth, how many times does the Earth spin every day? Which is like the easiest question I could think of. If you get the next two right, you get $100, no strings attached. So anyway, the reason that we do this is because when I say what I'm about to say, hopefully you guys can hear me over there because I'll move. You're going to say I'm crazy. You're going to immediately laugh and act like I'm crazy. But anyway, we were lied to about the Earth. We were lied to about where we live. You can't go to space, that's fake. They didn't go to the moon, that's a lie. That was a stupid movie in black and white. The truth is that the Earth is flat and it doesn't move. And it's contained and the sky resets for all recorded history, which means it's the center of everything. Provably measured it for 5 years. Hundreds of millions of us all over the world have done this. That's why the government censors flat Earth. I've been kicked off Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Venmo, PayPal, you name it. So anyway, whenever I tell people that the Earth is flat, they think it's stupid because they've been engineered to think it's stupid. So that's why I offer everyone $100 here that can answer 3 questions about the globe Earth, right? So because like if we're crazy for not believing the Earth's a globe, and you can say I'm stupid for not believing in that, then you should be able to at least answer 3 basic questions about it, right? Like how can you say, dude, that sounds crazy. How can you say we're crazy for not believing in something that you don't even know yet? If you don't know anything about the globe Earth, you can't pretend that I'm stupid for not believing in it. That's called ignorance. $100 cash. First question, how many times does the Earth supposedly spin every 24 hours? If you get that right, you can Google it and then come up here. And you get the next 2 questions right, which are also very basic questions. You get $100. $100. No strings attached, don't gotta pay to play, don't pay if you miss anything. $100 cash. So anyway, I'm gonna start to tell you guys how we know that the Earth is actually flat. Most people maybe have been engineered to think this is crazy, but whatever. So if you look behind us, this is called water. Water always finds its level. Right, so if you have a bottle of water in your hand, you can tip it in any direction, it's going to keep finding its level. It's called sea level. We put fluid in levels to build things. Water always finds its level. 70% of the surface of the Earth is ocean water. How is 70% of a ball flat water? Enlighten me. Also, we measured the surface of the Earth and it isn't curving. We saw the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away over Lake Michigan. Based on the globe Earth map, the entire skyline should have been blocked by Earth curvature. What's up with that? So we literally debunked the globe. That's why the government censors it. Do you guys think the government ever lies? Of course, the government always lies. They lie about everything, bro. Well, they lied about the Earth too. NASA's not the one exception in the government that doesn't lie. They also lie. They said they went to the moon in 1969. You can't go to the moon. It was a movie in black and white. It was fake. Provably fake. That's why they still can't go back. They said they can't go back to the moon. What's up with that? So it's been 50 years we can't do what we did in the 60s. So we also have an observation where you see mountains 255 miles away. Based on the globe Earth map, it should have been blocked by 1 mile of Earth curve. So here's an analogy for you. If someone's pregnant, say we got a female that's pregnant, and she rubs her hand down her stomach, and her hand gets to the bottom of her stomach, can she still see her hand? She can't see her hand anymore because her stomach is blocking her hand. The curve is physically blocking her hand, right? She can't see through her stomach and see her hand. Well, that's what the Earth has to do if it's a ball. It has to curve at a certain rate and block your view. Literally, it's just basic geometry, right? They said the Earth has a radius of 3,959 miles. That means it has to curve at a certain rate and block your view. Then why do we see the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away when it's supposed to be blocked by Earth curve? Can anyone enlighten me how that works? We see mountains from hundreds of miles away. That's why Congress censors this. See, it's not a debate. So you've probably heard about flat Earth before, and you've just heard about how stupid it was, and you've seen a meme that said, wouldn't you fall off the edge? If the Earth was really flat, cats would have pushed things off the edge. Wouldn't you fall off the edge? So no flat earther thinks you fall off the edge. Okay? So can you fall off the edge of a lake? Can you fall off the edge of a pond? No, it has a shore. You can't fall off the edge of a lake. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty, and every major country in the world has signed it, and it says it's illegal for us to go privately explore Antarctica. Now on a ball, Antarctica is the ice cap on the bottom of a sphere, and you'd be able to travel over it, come back up on the other side, and prove the Earth's a sphere. It's literally illegal to even try to do this, and no one in the history of mankind's ever done it. Now on a flat Earth, this area is a giant circle around you. Okay? So every major country, this includes Russia, China, the United States, these are all supposed enemies, right? Well, they all signed a treaty that said it's illegal for you to go there. So why can't we go there if there's not? Why wouldn't they just shut the stupid flat earthers down real fast and just let someone circumnavigate the Earth north to south? Why? No one thinks it's weird that every major country in the world signed a treaty that says it's illegal to go there? Did you even know the treaty was a thing? So when I first heard flat Earth, I thought it was stupid too, right? You have to open your mind and actually be honest. Okay, so you can measure the surface of the Earth that isn't curving. They said they went to the moon in 1969 and proved the Earth was a ball definitively because they turned around and took a picture of the Earth. Does anyone think we went to the moon in 1969? Do you guys really believe that we went to the moon? Did you know they said they can't go back to the moon? They said they can't go back. Not that they don't want to go back, not that there's no reason to go back, that they literally can't go back. Okay, so Don Pettit, world-renowned astronaut, one of the most famous astronauts in the world, Don Pettit, he was asked about going back to the moon, and he said, well, I would go back to the moon in a nanosecond. The problem is we destroyed that technology, and it's a painful process to build it back. So according to NASA, the reason we haven't been back to the moon is because we destroyed the technology that got us there, and we can't replicate it in 2021. I thought I was the conspiracy theorist. You guys think we can't replicate technology from the 60s? Did you know that the way we supposedly got to the moon was with the help of a Nazi? Did you guys know that? It's declassified. It's called Operation Paperclip. Operation Paperclip. The U.S. government took Nazis over here to help us go to space. Do you guys think that Nazis would ever lie? Do you think you should actually depend on a story from Nazis for your entire worldview? Right, because what you think I'm crazy for not believing in is that supposedly we're spinning 1,000 miles per hour right now, we just can't feel it. Supposedly the Earth's curving, it's just so big you never see it, and the horizon's always horizontal, and we see mountains from hundreds of miles away. That is literally impossible on a globe Earth. But actually when we see the mountains from 255 miles away, they're not really there. They just look like they're there, and they're actually being brought up over a mile and stopping where it would make the Earth look like it's flat. This is the official argument, by the way, for your side. So whenever we see the sun move through the sky in the day, your side, the globe Earth side, claims that the sun's not moving. It just looks like that because we're spinning. And during the sunset, you're actually falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it makes the sun look like it's moving. So you blindly believe all these things, and most of you guys don't even know that's what the model says, that you're falling backwards during a sunset. You don't know that, right? And it's no big deal. Most people don't know it. They didn't tell you the specifics very long in school because, well, you could go test it. And the teacher wasn't lying to you. She thinks the Earth's a ball, too. Most people say, you think everyone's lying? No, most people think that the Earth's a ball. Okay? But what they really taught you in school was, okay, look, here's where you live, and they pulled out a globe, and they said, even though it's not for educational purposes, sticker on the bottom, and it's disproportionate and can't be used for navigation, and it's not a real depiction of the land masses or the sizes or the distance, and it's not accurate at all, this is where you live. And when you were like 5, you were like, wait, wouldn't we fall off the bottom of it? And then everyone laughed, and she said, no, gravity. And you said, what's gravity? She said, oh, it's what pulls you to the ball. You're like, oh, okay. So people on the other side of the ball are upside down right now? And she's like, yeah. So we can dig through the Earth and get to China, right? Yeah, we just can't actually do it, but yeah, in theory you could. And you're like, okay, seems legit, when's recess? Then when you went back to class, you had to learn about the planets. They don't teach you about the Earth too long, do they? They start teaching you about planets. They show you cartoons of planets. Remember their names. And hey, it rains diamonds over here, we think. You better remember the names in the order so you can pass your test. And you guys have never thought about the Earth again. No one cares. Like, who's this nerdy white boy trying to kill my vibe with all these facts?
No one really thinks about it. That's why it was successful. The reason that it's important is because they drew a circle around you and said you can't go outside of it. You guys don't even know the circle exists. You guys don't even know the Antarctic Treaty's a thing. The Antarctic Treaty says you can't go past a certain circle. So they're like, hey, be some good slaves, stay in your little playpen. Did you guys know that? That every major world country signed a treaty that said it's illegal for you to go outside the circle? It's time to wake up, probably. Admiral Byrd, that's right. Hey, my man knows what's up. Operation High Jump, we went and explored the Antarctic region with Admiral Byrd. Hey, look at him. I see you, bro. He knows. Some people know. They actually researched it. So in 1945, we did Operation High Jump. That's where the U.S. military went and explored the Antarctic region with Admiral Byrd, a well-decorated admiral for the U.S. military. He was on nationally televised interview in 1954. He said, it's astonishing to me that there is an area as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that remains unexplored with tons of land and resources that no one knows about. He mysteriously died 3 years later from heart complications in 1957. Then in 1958, they founded NASA, and in 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty, which said it's illegal for you to go where they had just explored in Operation High Jump. What's up with that? So the U.S. military went and explored Antarctica, came back and said, you're not allowed to go there. The longest lasting peace treaty in modern history. China and Russia and the United States all have agreed on it. What's up with that? I thought they were enemies. I thought I was the conspiracy theorist. You just blindly believe whatever they said? That's why some of you guys are still scared of the air a year and a half after they said it would just take 2 weeks. But I digress. By the way, the mainstream news is run by the CIA. It's also declassified. It's called Operation Mockingbird. You should stop blindly believing whatever people say to you. You should critically assess information. The government has lied since its inception. Like when they set up the Vietnam War and said Vietnam attacked us, but actually they attacked their own ship to make it look like it was them so we could go to war, and they've come out and admitted that since. Don't blindly believe the government. They lie about everything. The same government that condoned slavery and told you Christopher Columbus discovered America when people already lived here. What a joke. So they drew a circle around you, told you they can't go there, right after they went and explored that region in Operation High Jump. So that's 1946. In 1945 was when we brought Nazis over here, Operation Paperclip. And in 46 we explored that region. Then the guy that explored that region on behalf of the U.S. military came back and said, there's a huge area over there with tons of land and resources that no one knows about. Then he died. Then they founded NASA in 1958. And then they signed the Antarctic Treaty in 1959, which says it's illegal for you to go there. It's not even up to be reviewed until 2040. So what's out there? What did they find? What did they find that we're not allowed to see? No one thinks this is weird. By the way, this is what would prove the Earth's a ball. You would literally come underneath it and pop back up on the other side. So anyway, that was 59. They signed the treaty that's still intact. In 1961, JFK came out and said, we're going to go to the moon. JFK said, we're going to be the first nation to go to the moon. In 1962, the U.S. military did something called Operation Fishbowl. It was part of a bigger operation called Operation Dominique, which translates to of the Lord. It literally means fishbowl of the Lord. Operation Fishbowl of the Lord. Where the fishbowl, you know, the container, they started shooting up high altitude missiles trying to break through the containment that's over top of the Earth that no one here even knows is there. Because you guys think you can go to space. And they shot these high altitude missiles over the course of 4 or 5 months. Right? They mapped out the firmament. There are declassified documents that admit the Earth is flat and there's a firmament. And they have an approximation method to determine the brightness, right? And that it was proven accurate. This was 1962. They shot missiles up there. Right after JFK said we're going to go to the moon. Well, they're not going to go to the moon. They found out they can't get through the container. This is declassified. It wasn't on CNN and TikTok, so it can't be real. Okay, so they shot the missiles up in 62. And then JFK got assassinated, right? In 1968, a movie came out. It was called Space Odyssey. It won Film of the Year. It was about a moon landing. Film of the Year. In 1968, also, one of the astronauts that was supposed to go to the moon, he came out and told the American public, we will never go to the moon. He said, we can't even get to low Earth orbit. He said, we can't communicate within our own buildings. How can we go to the moon? He then hung a lemon on the module that was supposed to go to the moon, and then he mysteriously exploded and died and a routine checking of wires on NASA's facilities. They replaced them, and then miraculously went to the moon the next year after they couldn't get to low Earth orbit on the 7th year. So we just miraculously went on the 8th year, exactly like JFK said we would. And then they went 238,000 miles in the air, landed on the moon, and called the U.S. president on a landline with no delay. You guys think that's real? Have you guys ever seen the moon landing, or were you just told that it's real? Did you just pop up on Facebook one day and see 50th anniversary of the moon landing? You can't land on the moon. That's why they can't go back, and admittedly they destroy the technology, and it's a painful process to build it back. They supposedly brought moon rocks back, gave them to different governments. Holland was one of the governments. Holland tested the rocks. They were actually petrified wood. If you really went to the moon, why would you have to bring back fake moon rocks? Can anyone answer any of these questions? All declassified, easy to verify everything I'm saying. They also said that the telemetry data, which is what would prove it, it would be the physical recording of the data, the trip. They accidentally lost it and taped over it miles and miles of film, of data, telemetry data. They lost it. What would prove the moon landing? So they lost all the proof. They still can't go back, and they brought fake moon rocks back. And then they called the U.S. president from 250,000 miles away with no delay on a landline. When I recorded a SpaceX launch this year, they had a 1.5 second delay from a low altitude. That's interesting. So in 2021, we can't do what we did in 1969. I have an iPhone 12 Pro here, right? It has better processing capability than an entire warehouse of computers in the 60s. Technology gets better, not worse. That's dumb. The government lied. It was a movie. And actually, they said that a Nazi brought us there. So in Operation Paperclip, that's where we brought Nazi scientists over here. It's called Paperclip because they put paper clips in different folders to mark the scientists they wanted to bring over here from the Nazis. That's why it's called Operation Paperclip. Also declassified. One of the guys that we brought over here, his name is Werner van Braun. He was an SS officer for the Nazi regime. He was put in charge of space exploration because he had supposedly helped the Nazis engineer rockets. Right, and this supposedly the Nazis are what helped us get to the moon, and we just can't go back. I guess we can't go back to the moon because we're fresh out of Nazis. I guess we got to wait for another totalitarian communist takeover in Germany before we can go back to the moon, according to the official story at least, which is what we're going to run with. Can't overdose on red pills at the jump. So anyway, Werner van Braun supposedly took us to the moon. When he died, he had Psalms 19:1 put on his tombstone. Psalms 19:1 is, of course, in the Bible, and it says that the firmament show the handiwork of the Creator. The firmament in Hebrew is rakia, which means beaten out strong as bronze. It's stretched out like a tent over top of the earth, and the people are like grasshopper inhabitants. So why the Nazi that supposedly took us to the moon, to space, put a Bible verse on his tombstone that says you can't go to space? Well, he let the cat out of the bag on his deathbed, yeah? You want to know something else that this Nazi did? He wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. The Nazi that took us to the moon, Werner van Braun, he wrote a science fiction book in the 50s. The main character in this book, his title is Elon. And guess what Elon does in the book? He takes everyone to Mars. Does that sound familiar? 2021, we supposedly have a guy named Elon Musk about to take us to Mars. Is that just a coincidence? You guys call me a conspiracy theorist, but to believe this, you have to be a coincidence theorist. So I guess that the Nazi, when he wasn't busy mass murdering millions of people and lying about fairy tale trips to the moon in a studio that they filmed, he was also a prophet that could predict Elon Musk 70 years in advance. See, they're trolling you. There are powerful Masonic, Luciferian, occultic groups that write science fiction books. They laugh behind closed doors. They tell the general public, and they sit back and watch you fall for it. They've done it for all recorded history. Zionism, Masonry, the Jesuit order, very powerful people, and they know the truth. You actually can't be a 33rd degree Freemason unless you know the Earth's flat. Do you guys know that? So you can get to the 32nd degree, you have to be voted on and brought into the 33rd degree. You literally aren't allowed in the 33rd degree unless you know the Earth's flat and doesn't move and the center of everything. That's what the G stands for. It stands for a bunch of things. They'll tell you Gnosticism, Grand Architect, because they have a secret club. It stands for geometria. That's measurement of Earth. That's why it has a square and a compass in the logo. That's how you measure a flat Earth. You're not allowed in the 33rd degree. The 33rd degree represents a lot of things. The compass uses 32 degrees. The 33rd degree would be the center, what people call the North Pole. Do you know it's illegal to go within 500 miles of each direction of the North Pole as well? So you literally can't go verify 500 miles of each direction of the center. There's something called the Antarctic Treaty that doesn't allow you to travel past the 60th south latitude. And you guys think you know what the Earth is because the same people that told you you're not allowed to go see it told you what it was. That's crazy, bro. They lied. They lied. So there are ancient maps that show tons of land outside of this area. Outside the 60th south latitude, tons of other continents. So you guys think there are 7 continents and we know where everywhere is. No, there's way more land on the Earth. It's way bigger than they told you. And they're keeping it to themselves. A lot of people say, why would they even lie? Why would they lie to hide huge amounts of land and resources? Why would they not lie? They probably have an electrical grid that has free electricity that has no loss. Right? They probably actually don't suppress cancer treatment whenever they're on their little lands. They probably don't eat GMOs over there. So they drew a little circle and they said, this is the area the slaves live. You're not allowed to come out of here. And then they orchestrate all kinds of wars. They tell you to be scared of the air, just to wear your mask for 2 weeks, and then we'll get rid of it. 2 weeks and then it'll be over. I mean, a year and a half. I mean, now you have curfews like you're 10 years old. Now you have lockdowns like prisons do. America's such a free country. Yay, we have lockdowns like prisons. You guys don't realize that they're starting to take over. Does CNN have to come out and say, government takes over, for you to know, think it's real? You have curfews and lockdowns. They told you 2 weeks. It's been a year and a half. I can't get too specific. YouTube will literally delete this video. That's how free of a country we're in. Yay! If I read a medical journal word for word, it gets deleted. That's such a free country. First Amendment. You guys, normally when you're telling the truth, you don't have to forcibly censor everyone that questions what you say. Maybe you should wake up. The air's not going to kill you. We tested it. It's still good. Don't worry. We tested the air for you guys. It's still good. Anyway. So the same people that lied to you about the earth are the same ones that are lying to you about this, that lied to you about everything else. The same ones that put fluoride in your water so that you could have pretty teeth. Did you know that fluoride is in rat poison? Did you guys know that? Did you know it calcifies your pineal gland? Did you know they used to give it to slaves in concentration camps to make them docile? Which means very easy to brainwash. You just don't care. You're apathetic and nihilistic. It makes people docile. Did you know that it's been correlated to lower IQs? So it's a poisonous toxic that can be tracked to carcinogenic properties, which means it causes cancer. It's in rat poison, and they put it in our water supply, and they said it was so you have healthy teeth. No, that's not why. So the same government that put fluoride in your water, you think they're just telling you the truth about everything else? The same government that condoned slavery? The same government that lied about the Vietnam War? What?
I'm asking to turn it around so they can see the people.
Well, you can do it if you want.
Push the button.
Yeah. So yeah, they lied about the Vietnam War. They said that Vietnam attacked us, and then we had to go fight them. And now they've come out since and admitted that we actually blew up our own ship, made it look like it was Vietnam, so we could go start a war with them. That sounds like a good, trustworthy group of people. The same group of people that brought Nazis over here to take us to the moon. Yeah, Nazis are so bad that the American government brought them over here and revered them as scientific geniuses and gave them medals. The same government that lied about 9/11. Do you guys even know what the official story of 9/11 is? Do you think that that's legit? That on the same day as 9/11, the U.S. military was coincidentally running a drill about planes potentially getting hijacked and run into the plane or run into the towers? Literally, this is all declassified official story. The U.S. military was running a drill on 9/11 that just in case someone hijacks planes and runs them into the towers, we'll know how to prep for it. And so that's why they didn't notice that the planes were off route. They thought it was part of the drill on the same day and the same time in the morning as 9/11. You guys think that's a coincidence? You sound like a coincidence there. Do you guys think that a paper passport popped out of an explosion of fire, then floated down to ground zero, and an FBI agent found it and it showed us where the bad guy was? Do you guys think it's just a coincidence the day before 9/11 they came out and said we're missing $2.1 trillion of taxpayers' money, and the very next day the area that money was documented in the Pentagon got hit by a supposed plane, so all the evidence was gone of it the very next day? Is that another coincidence? Didn't they tell us there were weapons of mass destruction over there and we had to go to war? And then they came out and said, oh, never mind, there aren't any weapons of mass destruction, but we're just going to stay over there for 13 more years. So when people say, why would they lie? Why did they lie about 9/11? Why did they lie about weapons of mass destruction? Why did they lie about Vietnam and fluoride and slavery and everything else you can imagine, everything else they've ever said? The government always lies. So that's just a cop-out because you don't want to have to access the fact this is very uncomfortable for some of you, but we're trying to wake you up. There's no one in camera. So anyway, we saw Scotland and Chicago from 60 miles away. We've seen mountains from 255 miles away, 273 miles away. We saw mountains from 273 miles away. Dude, the mountains in the picture should have been blocked by 3 miles of earth curve. Do you guys know how long 3 miles are? Well, think about 3 miles up and down of a curve that physically blocks your view. That's what it has to do if it's a ball. But we could see the mountains from 273 miles away. Where are the 3 miles of earth curvature, bro? There's not an answer, by the way, in case you were wondering. If you go try to figure out how you can explain it away, they'll just say the word refraction. So what they're trying to say is, we can't really explain it, but really those mountains just look like they're there, right where they should be if the Earth's flat, but in fact they're way underneath the ball curvature, 3 miles, and then the light just bent, and it lifted the mountains 3 miles and made it stop right where it would look like it was if it was flat. You know what the other option is? That we saw the mountains 273 miles away because the Earth is flat, and it was clear that day so we could see further. We've done this all over the Earth. This is why the U.S. government centers flat Earth, and if you look it up, you'll find the Flat Earth Society. Did you know that there's not one real Flat Earther in the Flat Earth Society, and literally everything they say is completely retarded? Everything they say is completely stupid. So what's up with that? Why do they have to censor the real flat earthers and then prop up an organization that don't say what we say to make us look stupid? If flat earth is really stupid, why don't you just let us look stupid? Isn't that interesting? It's just another coincidence. The government would never lie. By the way, I debate astrophysicist professors. So let me give you one of the questions they can't answer since you've been engineered to think that we're stupid. Astrophysicist professor can't answer this. Aerospace engineers can't answer this. So, there's something called the second law of thermodynamics. Alright? It says that entropy will increase, pressure will fill the available space, systems seek equilibrium. But very simply, if you have a soda, and you open the soda, it goes psh, and it immediately equalizes to the lower pressure around it. It has high pressure in the soda, sealed very tightly. If you open it, it equalizes instantaneously. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. How do you have gas pressure that some of you guys are breathing? Oxygen, a gas. How do you have gas pressure system sitting next to a near perfect vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr without a container? Because the second law of thermodynamics necessitates that pressure will instantaneously fill the vacuum and find its equilibrium. Can anyone answer that? Because the astrophysicist professors can't answer it. So, I would encourage you not to just try to laugh it off as if we're stupid. Just think about what I'm saying. You literally can't have a vacuum of space sitting next to gas pressure without a container. It's impossible. Literally. So what they defined outer space as, a vacuum of outer space, is 100% not real. You can't go to space. What they did was they drew a circle around you and they said, be good slaves, stay in your little circle. Now look up in the sky. We're going to go to space. There's nowhere else on the earth. Don't worry about it. And then they went and founded other civilizations that are much more advanced that aren't for the slaves outside the circle. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. But this isn't a big deal. Who cares? As they build their New World Order and give you lockdowns and curfews and the whole world shut down on the same day, and they get you ready for the mark of the beast, scanning your wrist and scanning your forehead, making you identify yourself to buy, sell, and trade, getting ready to come out with a digital tracking system. There's nothing to see here. Go back to sleep. Did you guys know that the mainstream news is run by the CIA? So Who do you watch, CNN or Fox News? Neither one of them, bro. They're just the CIA. It's called Operation Mockingbird. It's declassified, so take it up with the CIA. They say they run the news. So when you wake up in the morning and you watch CNN, you're literally watching what the government wants to tell you to do. The CIA has given you orders. In fact, the CIA representative was asked about this in Congress, and they said, wait, are you saying that the news anchors are CIA agents? And he said, we need to continue this conversation behind closed doors. So stop watching the news. Stop blindly believing anything you were ever told. Stop believing fairy tales from the government that you went to the moon in 1969. We just can't go back 50 years later. And actually go and research it for yourself. Again, this is why I've been kicked off every platform. I don't even cuss. And all I do is tell people that they were lied to about the nature of the earth. Don't blindly believe me. Go test it for yourself. And that means it was created and the creator loves you. I've been kicked off Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Venmo, PayPal. Anyone want to enlighten me why they're censoring this so hard? I thought it was stupid. I thought it was so stupid that you could just hear me out here and know I'm dumb. Right? Well, there has to be a curvature rate of a globe Earth with a radius of 3,959 miles, which is roughly 7.98 inches per mile squared. You have to see the curvature of the Earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet, but we don't see that. So if you don't know any of that, that must mean I'm wrong. Seems legit. So it's just geometry, right? If I'm holding a basketball, it has to curve at a certain rate based on what size the ball is. So it doesn't do that. And you can go measure the surface of the earth yourself. But most of you guys think this is hella nerdy and who cares? I'm not about to do that. I gotta post a pic for the gram. How many followers do I have? Jersey just dropped that heat. I don't really care. When's Polo G's album coming out? I gotta go get back on Snapchat. I gotta jump on TikTok talking about pretty face, small waist with a big bang. They have you brainwashed like goldfish, where you stare at your phone for 30-second increments and you never think about what's important. As they slowly take away your rights and give you lockdowns and curfews and tell you what you have to wear and when you're allowed to come out of your house and where you're allowed to travel, what you have to take. No one notices what's going on. So anyway, most people say, why would they lie? What does this matter? Who cares, right? Okay, well, it's a huge deal. It's literally like probably the biggest lie ever. It shows that every major country is working together and telling you you're not allowed to travel outside of a certain circle. Every country works together, so they tell you, be scared of China, be scared of Russia. No. It's government versus people. It's government versus people. If China is such an enemy of ours, why have they agreed to the peace treaty? That's the longest lasting peace treaty in human history. I thought we were about to go to war with China. Why are we in a peace treaty with them then? Why they agreed to a peaceful agreement to leave Antarctica off limits? So anyway, they're all working together. It's government versus people. So the Earth is flat. It has mountains and valleys. It's a topographical plane. A lot of people, what they do is they ask really crazy questions as if it shows where they're at, right? They think flat Earth is such a stupid conversation. They ask very stupid questions. So they ask stuff like, if the Earth was flat, couldn't I see Mount Everest from everywhere on the Earth? No, you can't see forever. You have a limit to perspective. You can't see forever. It's called angular resolution limit to your eyes. There's something called the atmosphere, quote unquote, which is actually contradicting in terms, just assuming the Earth's a sphere and that the gas is bending, even though gas doesn't do that. It has no inherent shape. But anyway, there's an atmosphere. You can't see infinitely through a dense atmosphere. You can't see infinitely because your eyes have a resolution limit. You can't see infinitely with binoculars or a telescope or a P900. They have a limit of perspective. If you stand at the end of a long railroad, it looks like they're converging. If you stand at the end of a long hallway, it looks like the ceiling and the floor are converging. They're not. It's an optical effect because you can't see forever. So when people say, if the Earth was flat, I'd see Mount Everest from all over the Earth. No, you literally wouldn't. That's ridiculous. You know what you would see? You would see mountains from 273 miles away that should be blocked by over 3 miles of Earth curvature based on the radius value. Uh-oh. What's up with that? No one can answer any of the questions, though. Like, the physics professors can't answer these questions. Why did I see mountains from 273 miles away? If based on the radius value, they should have been blocked by 3 miles of vertical Earth curvature, but we could see the mountains. Is there an answer? How can you have a pressurized system sitting next to a near-perfect vacuum if the second law of thermodynamics says it would instantly fill the vacuum and find equilibrium? The space vacuum they told you about is literally impossible. It's fake. There is no vacuum of space. Another question we get is, what about the other planets? Are all the other planets flat too? Okay, so when you say other planet, you're saying that the Earth's a planet, which is what we're discussing. It literally isn't. But anyway, we're not up in the sky with the lights in the sky. The Earth is the bottom floor of everything. All the lights in the sky revolve around Polaris for all recorded history right over top of us. Can anyone explain that? Can anyone explain how all recorded history has shown the stars do the same thing every single year and reset around Polaris over and over and over and over and over? All these people are mocking me, but no one can answer any questions. It's crazy. Crazy how that works. There's something called parallax, which is a perceivable motion difference in the stars if you were spinning and revolving and shooting through space 500,000 miles per hour as the galaxy shoots 1.3 million miles per hour. The stars would change. They say we're on a tilted axis wobbling, going around the sun while we spin, while it shoots through space, while the galaxy shoots through space. Yet the stars literally are exactly the same every single day, every single year, for all recorded history for thousands of years. They come back and reset every single year in the same place. How does that work? You can Google it. Time lapse of star trails. The Egyptians built megalithic structures that still line up with the same stars today as they did thousands of years ago. How does that work? It doesn't. The Earth isn't moving. You know why you don't feel like you're spinning right now? Because you're not spinning. And you guys think we're crazy, right? And don't get me wrong. When I first heard about flat Earth, I thought it was incredibly stupid. And I believe the Earth was a ball just because I was told that, which is why you guys think it too, by the way. You don't know anything about it. You haven't studied it, right? You just believe it. And it's easier to be in the in crowd, right? If everyone thinks something, that's what we should think. So I mean, using that logic, then back in the day, you should have been cool with slavery because a lot of people were cool with it. That's a fallacy. It's called a pill to majority. That's stupid. It holds no intellectual value. So think about the actual debate. This can't be debated, by the way. You can prove it. That's why we're censored. And I have to go around the United States on a microphone trying to wake zombies up that don't want to hear the truth. But some people have ears to hear. That's why we're out here. So anyway, the Earth is a topographical plane. We have mountains, we have valleys, we have the topographical plane. Provably, you can measure the surface of the Earth. It isn't curving anywhere. If the surface of the Earth isn't curving anywhere, what is it? Hey guys, look out at that water. Is that horizon horizontal? Of course it is. That's what the word horizon means. So how is every horizon we've ever seen for all recorded history flat? But you know for a fact it's actually curving, you just can't see it. Have you ever measured the surface? Did you know that this water always finds its level? That's why we put fluid in levels when we build things. That's why that's called sea level. Do you know that this fountain, the water's going to rush down and keep trying to find its level? It's called fluid statics. It's a natural law. Not disputable or debatable science here. Natural law. Water finds its level. How is 70% of the surface of the Earth ocean water that's flat, but at the Earth's a ball? Now, I'll just cover this because most of you guys, you know what you're supposed to say. You were told a word that you're supposed to say when you can't answer questions. It's effectively like the God of this heliocentric model. When you can't answer my questions, you just say the word gravity. Right? So if I say, how do you have gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum? I don't really know. I don't know what the second law of thermodynamics is, but you're dumb. Gravity. How is 70% of the surface of the Earth water? If water always finds its level, how could you have 70% of large bodies of water that are level on a ball? I don't really know what fluid statics is, but gravity. You're dumb. Right? You don't believe in gravity. See, flat earthers don't blindly believe in things. That's why we're flat earthers, right? But anyway, gravity's not real. Most people it just like shuts their mind down when you say that. They're like, oh, I'm out. If I drop this phone and then I catch it, this phone is more dense than the air. That's why it goes down. If I let go of a helium balloon, does it go down or up? Do helium balloons go up or down? They go up. Are helium balloons gravity proof? No, they're just less dense than the surrounding air. They're lighter than the surrounding air. It's called relative density. If I take a beach ball and I throw it up in the air, it falls down because it's more dense than the air. If I take it to the bottom of this water and let go of it, it'll pop up to the surface because it's less dense than the water. The water's more dense. It's very simple. Also, everything's intrinsically electrostatic, which is known to be 10 to the 39th power. That's 39 zeros. Stronger than gravity even claims to be. Did you know there's no scientific evidence for gravity? Did you know there's no scientific experiment that's ever isolated gravity? Did you know that it's just a theory? And that when I debate astrophysics professors and astrophysicists and aerospace engineers and tons of people with PhDs, they admit it's just a theory that doesn't have actual scientific proof. So you want to know what the evidence for gravity is? This is literally what it is. If the Earth is a ball, gravity has to exist. That is literally it. If the Earth is a sphere, it has to explain something called omnidirectionality, all directions. You have to be pulled down to this globe Earth in all directions. So gravity has to exist. It has to show how you can bend tons of ocean water, trillions of tons of water, convexly around the outside of a sphere that spins in a vacuum. There is no evidence for gravity. It's not real. It's just a theory because we have to presuppose the Earth's a ball. And did you know the theory of relativity has also been debunked? In 2021, if we assume the Earth's a spinning ball that defies physics and it literally can't be at all, and we measure the surface and debunked it, if we assume it is a ball that spins around in a vacuum, and we assume that gravity is real, and we assume that the theory of relativity is real, then when we look at the sky and we make up assumed distances of thousands of light years, and by the way, they didn't go measure the stars thousands of light years away. They saw that they never change and they reset every year, and that means they have to be thousands of light years away and we just can't see them change. That's where they got the numbers. They didn't actually go and measure them. It's a mandatory minimum of how far they can be away of the Earth is spinning and revolving around a vacuum that defies the second law of thermodynamics. Okay, so if we assume that the theory of relativity is real and this magic fairy tale heliocentric model, when we applied it to the universe, guess what happened? It's off by 95%. So you guys laugh at us, right? You say that we're stupid and we're crazy. And I get it, just a defense mechanism because you know nothing about this and it's all good. It doesn't faze me or I wouldn't be out here with a microphone. But the point is that I'm not crazy for not believing in a theory that can't even be mathematically proposed in 2021 with trillions of dollars in every major university in the world and every quote-unquote scientist that exists on the face of the earth trying to explain it. The theory of relativity is off by 95%. It's called dark matter and dark energy. No, it's not 95% correct. It's off by 95%. But you know it's real. You know it's real, though. There's no scientific evidence. It's never been isolated. It's off by 95%. It literally can't even explain how electrostatics is 10 to the 39th power stronger, where you have to isolate the weaker force. There's literally no evidence for it, but you know it's real. That's crazy, bro. That's insanity. But it is easier to fool someone than to convince them that they have been fooled. That's Mark Twain, infamous quote. It's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. That's because of pride and ego, right? So we don't want you to blindly hear what I'm saying and just believe it. We want you to research it and go test the earth yourself. Look at the water, bro. It's horizontal. That's why it's called a horizon. Water always finds its level. Is that horizon curving? Of course not. And you've been told to say, well, it's just so big you can't see it. Well, actually, it's a certain size. And you would see the curvature directly in front of you at a certain rate. You should see the curvature at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. This is geometry, right? Based on the radius value of 3,959 miles. It's pretty simple, though. So the square root of 1 is 1. So if we're 1 foot off the surface of the Earth, we should see the curvature of the Earth no further than 1.225 miles away. So when you guys say, well, the Earth's just so big you can't see the curvature, that is patently false. It has a certain size. You literally do have to see the curvature. It's called a geometric horizon. That's why in school they told you that boats disappear over the curve. Right? So you do have to see the curve. But you just never see it. So we have an observation 1 foot off the surface based on the globe Earth math of the cartoon you guys were shown. If I zoom in, I should see the curvature of the Earth at 1.2 miles away because I'm 1 foot off the Earth, right? It's simple. If I have a basketball, if you're closer to the surface of the basketball, you can see the curve faster, right? If you go higher, you won't see the curve as quickly. It's just geometry. So 1 foot off, we made an observation off the coast of Cali. The horizon was over 10 miles away. It's supposed to be at 1 mile, though. Do you know what the radius value would have to be for that observation to be on a ball? 264,000 miles. They said the radius value is under 4,000 miles. I think that 4,000 and over 250,000 are a little different. We falsified the radius. For those of you that don't know what a radius is, it's simple. It's the distance from the center of a circle or a sphere to the edge. Okay? The radius value is 3,959 miles. This is how you test the Earth. Most people just don't care. They just got to post a pic for the gram, and I got a 9 to 5. Who cares? I don't got time to test the Earth. What's this crazy white boy talking about? I just know that game 6 is tomorrow. Well, anyway, it's a big deal because when you find out what comes with this lie, it is literally the biggest lie in the history of mankind. But anyway, you can measure the surface of the Earth and falsify the radius. The radius is wrong, provably. I've had people with PhDs say, it does look like you falsified the radius. I've had people with credentials say, best case scenario, the radius is wrong. I'm like, okay, well here's where it gets tricky. If the radius is wrong, the entire model is wrong. Because we have distances on the Earth and it uses the radius value to explain how the Earth's a ball. Day and night cycle uses the radius value to explain how the Earth's a spinning ball in a vacuum. Gravity, that's literally just a theory and not proven and never will be because it's just pseudoscience, uses the radius value. You could never go to space without the correct radius value. You need something called the radius of orbit around the ball to attain escape velocity to go to the fairy tale Narnia medium of space. The vacuum of space doesn't exist. So anyway, when we falsified the radius, it falsified the entire model. That is why the government came out and censored us. Kicked me off Venmo, kicked me off PayPal, kicked me off IG, Twitter, Facebook, you name it. Because there are hundreds of millions of us that figured this out, right? Hundreds of millions of us. There are 16 million flat earthers in Brazil. Okay? So in 2015, the top 2 Google terms were Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Right behind that was flat earth. It exploded in 2015. So the U.S. government came out and admitted in Congress that they censor flat earth. I thought we had a First Amendment. What happened to that? If you Google flat earth, you know what's going to pop up? The Flat Earth Society. But there's not one real flat earther there, and they say stupid things that none of us think. So I thought they were going to censor flat earth. How come you can get Flat Earth Society on Google just like that? I guess they didn't censor flat earth. No, they censored the real flat earthers, and then they propped up a fake little fairy tale organization that the CIA probably started called the Flat Earth Society, where they say stuff like, we're a disk in space with spherical planets. No, we're not. That's dumb, duh. The Earth's the bottom floor of everything. The sky just resets over top of us. People ask what the planets are. The word planet means wandering. It's a wandering star. Have you ever zoomed in and looked at the planets? They're just like the other stars. They're lights in the sky. And they all move east to west, the same direction, and then they reset for all recorded history for thousands of years around Polaris. Polaris is the North Pole star. It's the center of the sky. It's always been the center of the sky. And if you do a time lapse, all the stars do perfect circles around Polaris, the center star. That's directly over the North Pole of the Earth, the center of the surface. And how come it's been like that for thousands of years? I thought we were spinning and revolving, shooting through space like 11 different vectors. It's literally impossible. You guys didn't even know that the sky resets, but it's easier to act like I'm crazy. That's the easy way out. By the way, this has happened in societies throughout all of history. Some people have gone out and tried to wake up the other people, and they always get ridiculed, and they're like, you're a conspiracy theorist. Just like when people are like, we'll use this for intents and purposes, right? We'll use the official story. I think the Nazi regime is trying to take over, bro. I don't think we should support Hitler. He seems kind of crazy. I think they're trying to take over. You're a conspiracy theorist. Because it's easier for you to do that. Because you don't know anything about it. But I just encourage you to swallow your pride and be intellectually honest. And this is actually why I do this, by the way. Children are being lied to, right? So a lot of adults out here, they really want to believe we went to the moon in 1969. We just can't go back. We didn't go to the moon. That's a lie. They're lying to you. You can't go to the moon. That's a movie that they filmed in black and white. You can't go to the moon. You can't land on the moon. Okay? Children are being lied to. If you're an adult and you want to believe it, go for it, bro. Some people out here would say the government doesn't lie. You know? You can't get everybody. But children have the right to know the truth. They're being told that they're a tiny speck of dust in this huge universe where they evolved from apes and they're just animals and everything came from nothing and they're spinning 1,000 miles per hour. They just can't feel it. And that every time they see water, it's flat, but this is the one time it's curving. Just believe it. And then whenever they see the horizon, it's always horizontal and flat, but actually it's curving. Just believe it. They can't trust anything. They immediately leave their little kindergarten class confused, like, whoa, I feel like I'm not moving, but I'm spinning 1,000 miles per hour? They're being lied to. You guys don't care that children are being lied to? That's no big deal. They're just lying to our children. As now they've gotten everyone normalized to having lockdowns and curfews and telling you what you have to wear, and now the children growing up now don't even know what freedom is. You're going to pass on a slave state to your children, and it will be on your hands, by the way. So we're standing up for the children that are being lied to. They have a right to hear both sides and make up their own mind. I don't want to put a child in a room and then tell her to sit in a desk and then lock the door and say, you better believe what I tell you. I want to tell the children, here's all the information. Please think about it critically. You come to your own conclusion. But they can't do that. That would increase intelligence and critical thought and freedom, thus eventually rebellion. They need obedience. So you just regurgitate what you were told and you say it on the test. Even though Christopher Columbus could have discovered America because people already lived here, you better know that for the test or you're not going to pass. So they're lying to children. So whenever I see the sun, right, the sun moves through the sky throughout the day. You know what Flat Earth says? The sun moves through the sky throughout the day. The globe Earth says the sun actually sat still the entire day. It just looked like it was moving because you were spinning 1,000 miles per hour. And that during a sunset, have you guys ever watched a sunset? The globe Earth says that you're watching the sunset, but actually the sun's sitting still and you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour, and it makes the sun look like it's moving. Oh, I'm the conspiracy theorist. I'm quite positive that when I went and filmed time-lapse of the sunset the other night, I wasn't falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour. The sun was moving away from me just like it did the whole day. At noon, it's directly over me, and it keeps moving through the sky. Everything you were told to lie, you need to relook at everything, and you will find out this is so obvious once you see it. You can't unsee it. You know, once you go flat, you don't go back. For real. No one unsees it once they see it. So they say that the sun and the moon just look like they're the same size. You know what Flat Earth says? They look like they're the same size because they're the same size. You know what you guys believe I'm crazy for not believing in? That the sun's actually 400 times bigger than the moon. Just coincidentally, by cosmic random chance, it's exactly 400 times further away also. So they look like they're the same size so that we can have perfect total eclipses. What a cool story. No, the sun and the moon are the same size, bro. And again, I get it, people are engineered to laugh at me or whatever. Can anyone answer why I saw mountains from 273 miles away, and based on the globe Earth math, it should have been blocked by 3 miles of Earth curvature? No, we don't have to answer that question. We'll just dismiss it. It makes me uncomfortable. How did I see mountains from 273 miles away if the globe Earth said it should have been blocked by 3 miles of curvature based on the radius value? Do you guys know what geometry is? Oh, we don't have to answer this. The government told me they went to the moon. That settles it. Government went to the moon. Government never lies. Duh. Alright, so the Earth is the center of everything in the world. The Earth is the center of everything. The sky resets in perfect concentric circles around Polaris for all recorded history. Over and over and over. And what that means is the Earth is the center of everything. This is called geocentric. They taught you a heliocentric model, which is that the sun is the center of our solar system and we revolve around it, right? Well, provably that's not the case. The Earth is geocentric. That means it's the center of everything. If the Earth is the center of everything that exists, how did it get there? It had to be put there. So when people say that this lie doesn't matter, and that's the easy way to shut it down, and just go get back on the gram, it's the biggest lie ever. It definitely matters. If the Earth is the center of everything, it had to be placed there. So how did it get there? It was created. But they told you you're an evolution result of an ape. You're just an animal. Everything came from nothing. There's nothing special about you. Your ancestors are rocks. And then everything came from nothing. And then lightning struck some primordial soup and rocks turned into fish that grew feet, that turned into rodents, that turned into apes, that turned into humans. Do you think your ancestors are rodents? Did you know you can't even propose evolution without this fairy tale about the globe Earth? Did you know the only reason that they even proposed evolution was to explain how you could have life on this globe Earth? You're starting to see the impact of this lie? Everything is about it. You can't even be a 33rd degree Freemason unless you know the earth is flat. You literally can't be a 33rd degree. That's what the symbol stands for. It has a G, geometria, measurement of earth, square, compass, how you measure a flat earth. So the powerful, most rich, successful people in the world, they know this. The major countries in the world, they signed the Antarctic Treaty and said, you can't go outside of here. They know it. But you guys will come attack me, even though you know nothing about it, as I'm trying to wake you up so we can be free and take our power back, right? So they got us divided so they could divide and conquer. Very old tactic. So they get us divided by all kinds of stuff. Politics. So are you Democrat or Republican? Neither one, bro. I didn't fall for the trick. Did you know that every single U.S. president's related, including Obama? Every U.S. president's related and tracks back to English royalty. Did you guys know that? So, wow, how generous. They let us pick someone out of their family reunion every 4 years. So you guys are arguing about right and left, Biden, Trump, blah, 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 blah. Whatever the news tells you to, keeps you divided. It's much easier to conquer you if you're divided. They keep us divided based on race. Did you guys know that race isn't actually real? Did you know there's just the human race? Yeah. Believe it or not, I don't change race throughout the summer. We have different color skins. Get over it. It's not a big deal. We're the human race. You're my brothers and sisters, whether you like it or not. We're all humans. But they got to get us divided, right? So no. Let's make up all these terms and come up with colors, right? And make each other argue about race and politics. Because if they got together and they put their differences aside and then they tried to figure out what the truth was and stand up to us, we would lose. They have way too much power in numbers. Let's keep them divided and distracted. Here, Game 6, Suns and Bucks. Better go watch it. Better go watch it. Here we go. We got, and don't get me wrong, I used to be super blue pill with sports. That was like my thing. But it's not all that there is in life. And no, your Instagram followers aren't your value. And no, Snapchat and TikTok don't really matter. Did you guys know that DARPA, which is a military organization that creates technology, they were working on a platform identical to Facebook, and the day that they shut it down, the very next day was when Facebook started? The government started Facebook, bro. So now they're coming out talking about the government's working with Facebook. You don't say. That's who made it. Okay, so don't worry, guys. The gram's not going anywhere. The government loves it. Because you can just jump on TikTok or Snapchat and pretty face small waist with a big bang. That's all people care about. 30-second videos, tops. Bang, 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 30 seconds like goldfish. Oh, man. How many hearts did I get? So they keep us divided and distracted, right? And this is how they've also pulled off the last year and a half. I can't get too specific because YouTube will kick my channel off. That's how free this country is. But they told you that you have lockdowns and curfews now. And no one notices that that's what they do in prisons? Is it just me or is that kind of weird? But they keep you distracted day to day. You just go look at the news and like, did they tell me that I have a curfew tonight? Because I just want to go out. When am I allowed out of the house again? What do I have to wear? No one cares, right? They keep you distracted and divided. So they keep you distracted with race and politics and what news station you watch and what NBA sports team you like or what NFL team you like. Just argue about whatever you can. Because if you come together, we lose our power. And what they did was they drew a circle on the earth and they said this is where the slaves have to live. They agreed on it. They're like, we'll keep the slave states inside this circle. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. It's literally illegal to go outside of it. So you guys think we're free, but we're actually already in a prison. And now they're just clamping it down and giving you lockdowns and curfews. Like my homie that was in the pen, yeah? You chill in the cell, and then you have curfew, and then you go to your lockdown. Wow, sound familiar? America's so free, we have lockdowns now. So that's why we're traveling the U.S. We're trying to wake people up while there's still time. And we're doing this for children. Because you guys might not want to care, But you're going to pass this on to the future generations that did nothing to deserve what they're about to walk into. You had freedom, bro. Why are you so selfish? Why are you going to be so selfish? The children didn't get to have the freedom that you chose to just bend over and give away. They're just going to walk through their whole life and not know what it is because mommy and daddy didn't care. Hey, daddy, where were you at when the government was taking over? I was on the gram. So we're trying to wake you up. We're on the same team. We want you guys to realize they have lied about a ton of stuff. And in fact, most of it is admitted now. But you guys don't read it. When I say, I like doing this. I just look at the crowd when I do this. I say, so, did you guys know the CIA runs the news? The CIA is in charge of the news that you watch. And then I just watch everyone laugh at me like I'm crazy. And then I say, well, you can look it up yourself. It's called Operation Mockingbird. It's over a 600-page document that admits the CIA took over the news to control the public narrative for quote-unquote national security purposes. And when the CIA representative was asked about it in Congress, he said, wait, are you saying that the news anchors are CIA agents? And the CIA representative said, we need to continue this conversation behind closed doors. You're watching the CIA every morning. You wake up and drink your coffee, and then you charge your battery just to go have it drained with all kinds of frequencies and negativity, and the CIA tells you what you're allowed to do for the day, and they give you some new fear porn of the day. Here's your new fear propaganda. Be scared. The air is going to kill you again. Basic anatomy lesson. You guys have lungs. They breathe something called oxygen, and it's in something called the air. So it's not going to hurt you. We checked it. Still good. So anyway, I'm just trying to wake you guys up while there's still time. They lied about the earth. I know that's such a big red pill for some people. They can't handle it. A lot of people tell me I shouldn't talk about that. I should talk about the other stuff because people will group it all together. Nah, the way I am, you're getting all this work, bro. You're getting all the truth. They lied about the earth. It's not a tiny speck of dust in an ever-expanding universe. That's dumb. It defies physics. We've tested it. I can prove it. I've been kicked off everything for saying it. There are hundreds of millions of us. They've known about it forever. The richest, most powerful people in the world know about it. Every ancient civilization in the world knew about it. They used to be more advanced. There are hundreds of declassified U.S. military documents that say the earth is a flat, non-rotating surface. So why does the military say the earth's flat? Why does the military assume the earth is flat whenever they create technology? Why, whenever they have to get the bad guys, they assume the earth is flat and they use a topographical Cartesian coordinate system assuming a flat earth to get the bad guys? How come when we shoot missiles we assume the earth is flat? How come when we create military technology of planes and rockets we assume the earth is flat and doesn't move? Anyone want to answer that? I guess that the government just spending trillions of dollars on technology that wouldn't work. But you guys have just never read the documents. You don't care. You just got to get on TikTok, bro. Like literally, you guys are brainwashed by TikTok, Snapchat, and Instagram. Who cares, bro? Who cares about this white boy's kill my vibe? The U.S. government knows what the earth is. It's been known about forever. You're not allowed to be in these very powerful groups unless you know what the earth is. I'm trying to give you that power. See, knowledge is power. See, there's a difference in us and them. We found out the truth. We don't want to be greedy with the truth. We don't want to try to use it for power. We don't want to try to subversively control you. We want you to have the power as well. And it is more crucial than ever that we get this power because they're trying to build a new world order and you guys are sleepwalking through it like it's not literally happening right in front of you as you have curfews and lockdowns for a year and a half after they said it would be 2 weeks. Are you guys going to just be acceptive of the new norm of lockdowns for the rest of your life? Are you going to let your children grow up in a country that literally has no freedom and they don't even know what a world where you breathe oxygen is? It's crazy. We're trying to wake you up for the betterment of mankind so we can stand up before it's too late. And by the way, if it gets to where it's too late, I told you so doesn't help me out. But you will remember this crazy white boy that was out here talking about all this nerdy stuff outside the fountain was trying to wake me up, bro. I ain't listen. It's too late then. So it's very simple how we come back, right? It's you don't get scared to talk to other people about this. You open your mind and research things. You don't blindly obey the government. You tell other people about it, and you stand up and you speak the truth. And if just a handful of people do that, we don't even need everybody to do it. If like 20% of people did it, we would win. That's how successful they've been. We can't even get 20% of people to wake up. It's crazy, bro. And now we wouldn't even know, because if I question what the government's doing, I get kicked off YouTube. If I read a medical journal, I'll get kicked off YouTube, kicked off Facebook, kicked off Instagram. If I don't even cuss and tell you they lied about the earth, I get kicked off all these platforms. I get kicked off Venmo and PayPal because they know that people donate to the channel because they demonetize the channel. So people donate. Oh, well, we'll rip that away from you too. They're literally trying to forcibly snuff out any opposition. This is how totalitarian communist governments start, if you guys didn't know that. What you do is, you don't let anybody question the state. They don't get to voice any opposition to the state. That's why the First Amendment, the most important one, was that you can always talk about what you disagree with when it comes to the government. Well, goodbye. That is gone. Congratulations. And if we don't get it back, it's going to be bad. And by the way, in case you guys didn't know, the Second Amendment protects the rest of them. So I know America was corrupt in its inception. It was founded by Masons that condoned slavery as it was condoned all around the world. They were incredibly corrupt. That is not the point. The point is that we have principles that we stand upon in this country in theory. If we throw them away, if we throw away those rights, you will never get them back again. Did you know America is like the only country in the world that still claims we have free speech? Most of them have hate speech laws, right? So if you say something that they disagree with, you're not allowed to say it. You guys don't realize that this New World Order is clamping down around you, but that's how it works. Did you know they wrote about what they were going to do this last year and a half, over a decade ago? Have you ever heard of Rockefeller? Can't get too specific, though. They literally wrote about how they would do this. You have to clamp down and let go, clamp down, let go, clamp down, let go. That's what they're doing, so get ready for the fall. Get ready for the fall. Y'all are going to have to go back in lockdown. But you don't actually have to, by the way. You can stand up for your freedom. Tell me how I predicted this whole year and a half, 15 months ago, 16 months ago on my YouTube. How did I predict everything that was going to happen perfectly? I'm not a prophet. Because I read their literature, this was a plan that they wrote about a long time ago. This is the New World Order, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the New World Order. It's on the back of your US dollar bill. I guess you never read it. It's in Latin. It says New World Order with an all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid. So anyway, the Earth is provably a geocentric, meaning center of everything. Stationary, of course, meaning not moving. Plane, meaning flat, a topographical plane. The Earth is a geocentric stationary plane. Provably. It's the center of everything, which means it was created, which means you were created. You have a spirit. You have light inside of you. Did you know science can't explain intuition or memories? You have a spirit, okay? You're very special, you're very powerful, you were created in the image of the Creator. You have a manifestation capabilities. You're incredibly powerful. But if you think that everything came from nothing and that you came from an ape and you're just an animal, you're easier to brainwash. So that's what they did. You are special. And they're lying to children and telling them that they're not special. But that's a lie. They were made in the image of the Creator. They're beautiful. They're made. You're beautiful as well. You have a spirit. You were made in the image of the Creator. You're an individual and you're very powerful. The Earth is the center of everything, and humans have domain on the Earth. If the Earth is the center of everything, how did it get there? So let me kind of give you an idea of how this works here. So science is supposed to be where you have no bias. You go find the truth out for what the truth is. You don't have any predisposition or bias, right? You don't selectively choose it. You just find out what the truth is. Well, have you ever heard of the Hubble telescope, one of the most famous telescopes ever? It's named after Edwin Hubble. Edwin Hubble is like one of the guys propped up as a priest in this little religion of the Earth being a spinning ball in a vacuum. Okay, Edwin Hubble is on record saying that the fact that the Earth is the center of everything can never be disproven. There's even dispersal in every direction from the Earth. But we must avoid this at all costs because it shows that the Earth is in a favored location. We must avoid that idea at all costs and try to figure out something else because it would show the Earth has a favored location, i.e. was created. So their motivation is literally to lie about a creator, about the true nature of the Earth. That is not how science works. So Edwin Hubble, the Hubble telescope, named after him, he said it can never be disproven that the Earth is the center of everything. Well, yeah, you know why? Because it literally is, and you can prove it, and the stars have reset for all recorded history directly over the center of the surface of the Earth with Polaris directly over it. Hey, look at that moon. That moon just coincidentally the same size as the sun in the sky, but they're actually completely different. That's 1/400th the size of the sun. And we can just see it during the daytime. Don't worry about it. What a cool story. Oh, and what they say is that moon is a sphere that's spinning, right? And it's spinning at such a perfect speed that it always looks like it's still. And if it was going 1/4 a mile per hour faster or slower, you would end up seeing the other side of the moon. But it just goes at the perfect speed that you've never seen it, and we've seen the same side, quote unquote. The moons look the same for all recorded history. Now you just see the moon, that's what the moon is. It's pretty simple. The sun and the moon look like they're the same size because they're the same size. They look like they move in the sky because they move in the sky. The earth doesn't feel like it's moving because it's not moving. The horizon out there looks horizontal because it's horizontal. That's where we got the word horizon. Water always finds its level. Yeah, that's why that water out there is always level and horizontal. Everywhere we measure the surface of the earth, it's not curving and it's flat. You know why? Because it's not curving and it's flat. That's why the U.S. military spends trillions of dollars on technology assuming the earth is flat. Why does the military have tons of documents that say the earth is flat? Did anyone know those existed? You can look it up. You know why they're called planes? Because they fly over a plane. That's why they're called planes. A lot of people actually come up here to me and they'll be like, I saw the curvature from a plane. No, you didn't. According to your own model, according to the globalist model, you can't see the curvature from that height. You cannot see left and right curvature from the plane. So I'll tell you something that happened. There was somebody named Felix Baumgartner. If you ever remember this guy that supposedly jumped out from the edge of space, it was actually super cool. I mean, it's pretty cool to watch. It was wild. The dude like passed out and flipped around. Okay, it was sponsored by GoPro and Red Bull. He jumped out from the edge of space, quote unquote. When you look at it, you can see this huge curvature of the earth, right? He was even on record saying, I could see the curvature of the earth from there. Well, what flat earthers did was we sent high altitude balloons at that same elevation. He jumped out from 128,000 feet. We sent high altitude balloons all over the earth, 100,000, 110,000, 120,000 feet up. Guess what the horizon looks like up there? Still flat. So we proved that it's flat up there and that they showed you a fake curvature. So you know what happened after that? Neil deGrasse Tyson, if you've ever heard of him, one of the most famous quote-unquote scientists in the world for the heliocentric model. He came out and he said, a lot of people think that Felix saw the curvature in his jump. A lot of people watch that video and they think they're seeing the curvature of the earth. That is not true. They saw a curvature that came from the GoPro camera's lens, a fisheye lens. And actually, at that height, you would be 2 millimeters above this beach ball, and up there, that stuff would be freaking flat. So they lied to the whole earth, showed them a fake little picture or camera angle of the earth looking like a ball, which, by the way, is curving at way too drastic of a rate, and New Mexico's way too big, and blah, blah, blah. Doesn't matter. We went and tested it. We proved that it doesn't curve when you go up there and you videotape it at that height. They then had to come out, change their story, admit that they lied, but they didn't tell the whole world that when they showed it. Just like when you saw the blue marble picture of the Earth from space, they didn't tell you it's not a real picture, it's actually a cartoon, but that's what NASA's website says it is. So they know, they don't even have to literally lie to you, they just have to put something in front of you, and you'll just blindly believe whatever you think it looks like. So we tested it. It isn't curving anywhere. So what's up with that? Why do they got to show you fake pictures until we go and bust them and then they come out and admit that it was fake? Why do they have to lie? Normally when you're telling the truth, you don't got to lie a lie, bro. How come when they went to the moon, they said they brought moon rocks back and then they were tested, they were actually just petrified wood? If you really went to the moon, why would you bring fake rocks back? That's called Holland's government. You can look that up as well. Everything I'm saying is literally easily verifiable and objective. They lied about the earth. Just like whenever you were young and they said, people used to think the earth was flat, and they show you like a boat falling off the edge, which no flat earther thinks that's dumb. And then they said, then they found out it's actually a ball because the boats disappear over the curve of the earth. Right? Well, you know what actually happens? They just know that 99.9% of everyone out here has never done this observation. And most of you still won't do it after this. You can go out and see a boat, it'll look like it disappears, then you can pull a camera out and zoom in, and you can see the boat in entirety again. Did I zoom through the curvature of the earth? Did I have X-ray vision? Did I go Superman on the earth? No. The boat looked like it disappeared because it got too far away from my naked eye to see it. And then when I increased the zoom, I could see the boat again. So I can bring binoculars out, see it again, it looks like it disappears, bring the camera out, see it again. It just looks like it disappears. So why did they tell us in school that the boat goes behind the curvature of the earth? They lied about the whole story, and you guys don't see that. Maybe they're just lying about the whole thing. So they didn't see the curvature from 120,000 feet because we tested it and they admitted it. You don't see the boat go over the curvature of the Earth because we tested it. It's objective. There are thousands. I have all kinds of observations myself. I can walk out there right now and make one. So anyway, how is the Earth curving if it's not curving anywhere? How's Earth a ball if it's not curving anywhere? How's that work? They lied. It's a pretty big deal, you know. It shows that every major world country lied to you. But most people I know my age, they know the government lies. It's just like a thing. Like everyone knows that. Some boomers, no disrespect, but they really want to believe in the moon landing and they act like the government doesn't lie. But this will free you, bro. This frees you from all kinds of lies and fairy tales. No, you're not about to get hit by an asteroid. So if they come on the news and say, crazy asteroid about to hit the Earth. No, it's not. No, it's not. Flat earthers don't lose a wink of sleep about any of that nonsense. It frees you. You're under a spell. You're under a spell right now. You have to believe that you're spinning around 1,000 miles per hour on a little tiny speck of dust in an ever-expanding universe surrounded by black void of nothingness where asteroids can hit you at any point in time. No, you can't get hit by an asteroid. That's stupid. You can't have a vacuum next to a pressurized system. That's literally in violation of the second law of thermodynamics. The second law of thermodynamics debunks the globe Earth. And I debate astrophysics professors and they can't answer it. So, but what most people will do is they'll ridicule me as they walk by, and if I offer them $100 to accurately define the second law, they wouldn't even know what it was. So you see the irony there? But anyway, I just do this because I know some people are open-minded enough to listen. Some people are not. Some people are going to believe fluoride was put in your water to keep your teeth healthy until they die, you know. But, you know, I do this for ears to hear. And children need to be told both sides of it. They're not being told both sides. I'm not trying to, like, brainwash the children. I just want them to hear the other side and all the evidence. And then I want them to make up their own mind. You know, like free people do. See, they would see through the lie if you told them both sides. If whenever you were 5, they said, well, here's the two options. Either the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles per hour, but you just can't feel it, or it's stationary, and that's why it feels still. You'd be like, okay, I think it's not moving. If they told you that whenever the sun sets, it actually is sitting still and you're falling backwards 1,000 miles per hour and it just makes the sun look like it's moving, or the Earth isn't moving and the sun moves in the sky, you'd be like, I see the sun move in the sky, bro. But they hit you with all these fairy tales since you were 5 years old. They showed you cartoons. They watched Space Wars or whatever it is, Star Wars. You watched all the space movies. You played all the space video games. You watched all the cartoons. Now they're telling children that Elon Musk is going to go to Mars and save the world. Oh, well, all right, let's look. So you were just told this story when you were like 5. Here's some cartoons. You live on a ball. You live on a ball. Then you never thought about it again. Like, if you're like me, I'm just like, all right, bro, well, I got football practice. Like, I don't care what you're talking about. But it's time that you awaken from your sleep. This is a huge deal. And once you open your eyes to this, you're going to realize a lot of things. One of them is the Earth was created. It had to be created by a creator. Literally. There's not another scientific option. That changes everything, bro. It doesn't really matter what you say. That's not about religion, right? Religion's where men make up stories. I'm talking about the fact that the Earth had to be placed there. It's the center of everything. That changes everything. That means you answer to the Creator. You don't answer to the government. Changes everything. It also means there's moral accountability. That changes everything too, huh? Maybe we should stand up for the millions and millions of defenseless babies being murdered. I'm just saying, though. As they target the minority communities with that. But I won't get into that too much. People get triggered. Margaret Sanger, admitted racist, eugenicist, started Planned Parenthood. Take it or leave it. So it's time that we stand up for those that cannot defend themselves, right? The child is going to believe whatever you tell them or whatever your teacher tells them. That's because the child is innocent. The child is trustworthy. They may do a few things, or they lie here and there because they want to get a cookie or they want to do something, but the truth is that they're honest, that they're innocent. Children are innocent when they're young. So they are very susceptible to lies because they just instinctively think that you're being honest with them. And people are taking that innocence and manipulating it subversively and lying to them. That's a big deal. You know what the scriptures actually say about that? That if you're to lead one of these little ones astray, it's better that you have a millstone tied around your neck and be thrown to the depths of the sea. So the Creator doesn't seem to think it's a big deal that people are lying. Or he seems to think it's a big deal that people are lying to children. So anyway, in conclusion, I'm going to recap the operation real quick, and I'm going to get a drink of water. But so in 1945, Operation Paperclip, the U.S. government brought Nazis over here in Operation Paperclip. They put paper clips in different files to pick out which Nazis they were going to bring over here. It's declassified, right? 1945, we brought Nazis over here. I thought we hated Nazis. No, instead of, hanging them for war crimes, we propped them up as scientific geniuses. We put them over here to work for the government. 1945. In 1946, we started something called Operation High Jump. So the very next year, we went and explored Antarctica. The U.S. military did. The Antarctic region. On the globe Earth, it's an ice cap on the bottom of a ball. On a flat Earth, it's a circle around you, like an ice ring that contains the water.
Hey, do you have ID?
Yeah.
Sorry, but I love what you're saying.
Here's it.
And
that has everything.
Perfect.
Yeah. Follow me, I'll see you. So in 1946, they went and explored the Antarctic region. On a globe Earth, that's an ice cap on the bottom of a ball. On the flat Earth, that is an ice ring around you, the 60 south latitude. It's illegal to go there, by the way, so don't act like you know what it is, because you 100% probably don't have any idea what it is. It's illegal to go there. But anyway, so 1946, they went and explored this region. They used Admiral Byrd to do this. Admiral Byrd, a well-decorated admiral for the U.S. military. He's the one that was in charge of the exploration of this Antarctic region that you're not allowed to go see. Okay, so then this guy came on national television in 1954, and he said, it's astonishing to me that there's an area as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica with tons of land and tons of resources that remains unexplored and no one knows about it. Then he mysteriously died in 1957, 3 years later. Perfectly healthy, randomly had heart complications, probably a coincidence. 1958, they founded NASA. So they went and explored Antarctica, found out what was there, came back, founded NASA after the guy who took us there said there was more stuff over there we don't know about. Then he died. Then they founded NASA in 1958, and in 1959, so he died in 57, in 58 they founded NASA, and in 59 they signed the Antarctic Treaty. Probably just a coincidence. So they went and explored the Antarctic region. The guy came back and said there's a lot of stuff over there we don't know about that no one knows about. They're lying. They're not telling you about. Then he died in 57. NASA founded in 58. They signed a treaty in 59 called the Antarctic Treaty, which said it's illegal for us to go where they had just explored whatever they found. And it's still intact to this day, not even up for review until 2040, the longest lasting peace treaty in modern history. Every major world superpower has agreed to it. China, Russia, you name it. All these enemies put their differences aside to say the slaves can't go out past the 60th south latitude. And it's still intact to this day. So they said, look, we explored the earth for you. There's nothing to see, slaves. Stay in your circle. Now we founded NASA. Look up at the sky. We're going to tell you fairy tales. Don't worry, we're going to explore space. We've already explored all the earth for you. You just can't go verify it. By the way, this is what would prove the earth's a ball, right? You could shut stupid flat earth down so easy. You could just circumnavigate the earth. Circumnavigate it, like go around the whole earth and come back to where you started. You can do this east to west. That works perfectly on a flat earth because north is the center. You're traveling with a compass east to west relative to the center. Very simple. And actually it uses magnetic declination, but that gets a little more technical. But north to south circumnavigation cannot happen on a flat earth. That can only happen on a ball. Well, conveniently, that's literally never been done in the history of mankind, and it's illegal to even try to do it. You guys think that's a coincidence? Just another coincidence. Coincidence this, bro. You can't circumnavigate the earth. The earth's not a ball. You know why no one's ever done it? Because it can't be done. A lot of people say, can you fall off? Can you fall off the edge of a shore? Can you fall off a lake? No, there's a shoreline. That's how stupid that question is. So when people ask it like flat earth is stupid, really, the question's stupid. Also, there's something containing the earth, right? Something containing the earth. So in theory, it could come down somewhere, and we're not allowed to go there, which is convenient because the U.S. military mapped it out and said that it actually has different altitudes, and that they came up with an approximation method to determine the brightness of the firmament, and it was proven accurate. Just another coincidence. So in 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty, and then in 1961, they came out and they said, we're going to go to the moon. JFK said, we're going to go to the moon in 8 years. America's going to be the first country to go to the moon in 8 years. In 1962, the next year, the U.S. government started something called Operation Fishbowl. This was part of a bigger operation called Operation Dominique, which translates to of the Lord. So literally, it is Operation Fishbowl of the Lord. 1962, all declassified, easily verifiable. They sent missiles up at high altitudes, mapping out the firmament. They exploded at different altitudes. I like it. They exploded at different altitudes. They did this for a few months. This was right after they said we're going to go to the moon. So in theory, did they think they could go? Maybe. Did they try to go and find out that they couldn't? Maybe. You know, whatever. I don't even think they thought they could go personally, but it doesn't matter. They found out that they couldn't go, that's for sure. 1962, Operation Fishbowl of the Lord, they shot up missiles. 1 year after JFK said we're going to the moon. Then JFK came out and he gave a speech about how there are powerful, corrupt people behind the scenes pulling the strings, and that they conceal the truth, and that the very word secrecy is repugnant in a free country. And then he got capped, so he got assassinated 6 months after that speech. Then, in 1968, they showed the whole world, specifically the United States, a movie called Space Odyssey, which actually looks better than the fake movie of the moon landing, by the way. And it's about a moon landing. And they made sure everyone saw it. It won Film of the Year, because they were brainwashing everyone for the propaganda for the next year. They were having everyone see a movie about a moon landing. It got Film of the Year, so they were like, okay, we're about to go to the moon. They had a visualization of it. It's called propaganda. It's very simple. And then in 1969, we supposedly went to the moon. In 68, the same year that they put that movie out, one of the astronauts that was supposed to take us to the moon, right, was in the crew that was supposed to go to the moon. He came out and he said, bro, we're not going to the moon next year. He said, we can't even communicate with each other in our own buildings. We can't even get to low Earth orbit yet. Never can we get outside of low Earth orbit, go back and forth to the moon with communication. There's no way. We're not even close the year before. He then hung a lemon on the modules, like signifying it sucks. So you call a hoopty a lemon, right? Like the module won't work. He hung a lemon on it to show the U.S. public. He came out and tried to tell the truth. And what happened to him was that he randomly exploded and died on NASA's facilities doing a routine checking of wires. Then they replaced him and miraculously went to the moon in 69 after they couldn't get to low Earth orbit in 68. And then they went 238,000 miles away. Do you guys think that moon is 250,000 miles away? I don't think so, bro. But anyway. So supposedly they went to that thing, and it's supposedly 250,000 miles away. And then they landed on it and called the U.S. president in 1969 on a landline with no delay. I just recorded a SpaceX launch a few months ago in 2021. They have a 1.5 second delay at a very low altitude. All they do is shoot rockets up over the ocean. Rockets always come back down. It's called a parabolic trajectory. Well, they shoot them over the water where you can't verify where they go. But anyway. So there you go. The reason that's important is because that's supposedly when we took the picture of Earth from space. Most people don't really know that's like the claimed real picture. It's from this moon landing. So if the moon landing's not real, where's the real picture of Earth from space? I'm so crazy for not believing in. Yeah, it just got real, didn't it? So you have a choice right now. Either you can acknowledge that we have an issue, or you can ignore everything you just heard me break down about the moon landing, because now you have to believe in it to still believe the Earth's a ball, or that we have proof of it. So anyway, what they did, most people think we have pictures of the Earth from space today. Like they'll walk up to me with their phone and they'll be like, much love, bro. Much love. Later. They'll say, yeah, we got pictures of the Earth from space. Here you go. They'll show me something like the blue marble. But they've never researched it. And this is a reoccurring theme here, right? Like, the average population hasn't researched it. The flat earthers did go research it. That's why they're flat earthers. But anyway, if you look at the blue marble, you can type it in yourself on your, what I call dumb phones. Robert Simmons, NASA.gov, blue marble. It'll pop right up. Okay, so the infamous blue marble was done by an artist named Robert Simmons. What it says they do is they take pictures from high altitude, they put it into a flat map projection, then they wrap it around the sphere, they bring an artist in to do an artist rendition to match what the observer expects the Earth to look like from space, including copy and pasting clouds, etc. And Robert Simmons, the literal artist that was contracted by NASA, his quote is, "Of course it's Photoshop, because it has to be." So NASA admits those aren't real pictures of the Earth, bro. They're literally cartoons. And you can go read it yourself right now on NASA.gov. They're not real pictures. So, am I crazy for not believing in cartoons? Is Dora the Explorer real? I got Superman's real too, bro. No, I don't blindly believe in cartoons. NASA admits they're just cartoons. They're not real. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, why y'all believe it?
Because you can measure the surface.
What do you mean?
You can measure the surface to see if it's curving. You can literally prove it.
Is there like research?
Yeah, I've done it for 5 years.
Okay, but like someone who like is like qualified to do that type of research.
What does qualify me? I have to have a degree.
Yeah, do you have a degree?
If I don't have a degree to earn something, is that your argument?
No, I'm just asking if you have a degree.
Yeah, bro, I had a full ride to a private university.
Okay.
So I debate aerospace engineers.
Okay, wait.
So I debate your buddies with credentials. So let's talk about the actual evidence.
Okay, so what about the actual evidence that like that bodies of water literally like don't fucking end at the fucking
Yeah, exactly. They're contained. You know what those bodies of water do? They find their level. That's why it's called sea level. Hey, wait. Does water find its level? Is that horizon out there horizontal and level? Oh, it's called fluid static. It's so massive. So that's a cool story. But look at this. Watch this. I bet none of you will answer this. I saw mountains from 273 miles away. Based on the globe Earth math, it should have been blocked by 3 miles of Earth curvature vertically. How did y'all see the mountains? No one will answer it. How do we see the skyline of Chicago across Lake Michigan from 60 miles away if the globe Earth said it should have been completely blocked by Earth curvature? No one will answer it.
I think it's interesting, but I don't think you're kidding.
I just don't want to think about it. It makes me uncomfortable. It's all good.
That's why I came over here.
I thought it was dumb when I first heard it. Have you ever heard of the Antarctic Treaty?
Nah.
So every major world country signed a treaty and says it's illegal for us to go past this area.
Right, I heard
It's illegal.
Right.
You can't go, I can't go, no one can go. Which is what would prove yours the ball, by the way. You'd come down on Antarctica and pop back up. It's illegal, no one's ever done it. Just a coincidence.
How is it illegal again?
It's called the Antarctic Treaty, so every major country has signed it, yeah. It's illegal to privately explore it. And this is right after the U.S. military went and explored it. And the guy that did it came back and said that there's tons of more land and resources out there. Then he died.
Has anybody done that expedition right there from Antarctica in 1755, like done it in recent times or like modern day?
No, it's illegal.
It's illegal?
Yeah.
So you're sure no scientists have done it?
Yeah, it's illegal.
I'm pretty sure the government does things that
Oh, so you believe the government now? Okay.
I'm just saying,
Okay.
they probably do illegal things.
Hey man, the government has military bases over there.
Yeah,
If you want to believe what they say, I mean.
No, I'm saying that they probably have already done it.
Well, yeah, they did. They admitted that they did it. They admitted they did it. Like it's called Operation High Jump. It's
Even though
declassified.
it's illegal, you know, people think what they did. We don't care if it's illegal.
Well,
Try and see.
some of us tried. Some of us tried. Some people tried and they got intercepted and arrested.
Wait, so this is the only expedition that's made for the public, pretty much, is the 1755
Well,
one?
these are different things, right? This is where Captain Cook went around it. This is before the Antarctic Treaty signed in 1959, right? And he went for 68,000 miles, and all he saw was an ice shelf the whole way.
And this was in 1755?
Yeah. And so now you can't even go out there. Like there's a 60 south latitude. Once you get to the ice, they'll intercept you.
So they've definitely been over there.
Oh yeah, it's called Operation High Jump. They admit they went there. It's the biggest rabbit hole ever. Yeah. Well, I mean, it could be round like this, right? Like quarters are round, but yeah, it's not a ball. Yeah. And you're not spinning right now. The Earth is stationary, and it's a topographical plane. We have mountains and valleys, right? So it's flat, but not like literally like, right? Yeah, and then like the stuff in the sky moves. The Earth is the center of everything.
So wait, that's the reason why that's a circle?
Well, this is the only map that's ever been used for all recorded history to navigate. The U.S. military still uses that.
What's the time for?
Information.
Yeah, my bad. I used to get in trouble for saying, then my teacher say, well,
Someone write
if
upon
you fold the map up of the Earth, you'll see that it's round and all that. Like, I never believed that. I always believed it was flat.
Yeah, they lied. Yeah.
That's
I thought it was crazy, you know, but
ever since I was a kid, and I'm like, well, how is it round? Like, how does that? And she said, oh, if you take the map and I'm like, no, that don't make sense.
And then when you bend it, it doesn't work. But this is from 120,000 feet up. The horizon's still flat.
Think about those pictures.
Yo, we gotta get to his car, bro.
They admit that they're not real pictures. You guys got a QR code?
Yeah.
Check it out. Cool. It sounds crazy, I get it, but
Hey man, that was really interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
What's up, bro?
Yeah, take it easy.
If you don't ask no questions, you never know the answer.
Do that. Keep on.
I'm gonna look it up.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Sweet. Much love. There's an app on there that'll answer all your questions too. What's up, Chad? All right, I'm about to take a break, but look, in conclusion, the reason it's important is you're special, man. The earth was made for you. The Creator loves you. How you figure that out, what you call them, whatever, that's on you. I would say man-made religion has been used to control people for a long time, but the scriptures are true, and don't listen to what men say, but, you know, that's your own journey. But the truth is that you have a spirit. You're special. You're powerful. You were created in the image of the Creator. He made this place for you. It's beautiful. You know, be grateful for where you live. Like just this area right here, even though there's a lot of concrete and stupid metal buildings, the nature around you is beautiful. We have waterfalls that are beautiful. We have mountains that are beautiful. 90% of the ocean's unexplored, okay? So we don't know about the earth. We should have gratitude for it, appreciate it, and stop making up fairy tales about a medium that can't exist that you literally can't go to. Just know that you were created, you have a lot of power. They're lying to you. They drew a circle around you. It's time that we come together. The government doesn't give us permission to breathe oxygen. The government doesn't give us curfews. The government doesn't give us lockdowns. The government doesn't tell us what we have to take. And I will say this before I take the break. They're conditioning you for the mark of the beast. Have you guys ever heard of the mark of the beast? Well, there's a prophecy from a few thousand years ago. It says that in the end, they will try to make a one-world government. And that what they will do is they will roll out a mark of the beast, and you will have to take it to buy, sell, or trade. And that it'll be on your wrist and your forehead, or your forehead. Well, coincidentally, last year, the whole world shut down on the same day to start getting you used to the new world order, the one world government. The same year that happened, they told you to identify yourself with a mask, one letter away from Mark, so you could go into stores to buy, sell, and trade. And they started scanning your wrist and your forehead when you walked in to take your temperature. So they've conditioned you to walk into a store and get scanned on your forehead to identify yourself to buy, sell, and trade. And the whole world shut down and gave you curfews and lockdowns. So they are getting you ready for a digital tracking system. If we don't stand up against it, it'll be the death of freedom as we know it. So wake up, you don't need the government's permission to breathe oxygen. Whether you agree or disagree with what I said, if you disagree, I'm going to be honest, it just means that you haven't researched it, you don't know anything about it, but it's okay. You should definitely agree with my right to be able to say it. And if we don't stand up for our First Amendment, we're done. So we need to freely speak the truth and stand out against the government before it's too late. And you need to think about your children, by the way, because the children are going to grow up in the world that you leave them. So you can be selfish because you got to grow up your whole life and do whatever you wanted to, and who cares? But the world that they have is what you leave them. Either you're going to leave them a free world or you're going to leave them an enslaved state with no freedom, with lockdowns and curfews. So I encourage you guys to wake up before it's too late. I'm going to take a break.
Jeez Louise. Oh, the fountain's fuego right now.
Does it need to be charged?
I don't know, just a sec. Watch out, let me. Sorry guys, we were gonna have Chris, will you watch me stuff? I just want to show them the mountain, the fountain. It'll light up in a second. What's up everybody? Let me see the charge. Yes, it does. 13%. Crushing Austin, God bless. Thank you. That was awesome. Thank you. So, back again. Not sure what you're asking. We're leaving Chicago tomorrow. We might come back through it. You're killing it in my hometown. So yeah, we have a few fly earthers here. Whitsitt, y'all bless you, brother. Thank you, man. So we may come back to Chicago to give you some heads up, but it sucks because look, we have this. It's a 360 camera, right? So it's pretty dope. And then the Rode that I'm using right here, this slips in it. Right, so wait up. Slips in it like that, you see it? So that's the mic, like receiver. And I got the transmitter like plugged into the mic. So anyway, the plan was that we were gonna have the 360. Wait up. So we were gonna have like the 360, right? And once it loads, then you can literally scroll through the whole 360. So we went live with the 360 set up, and it just never went through to YouTube and went live. I said it went live, downloaded the app, used it on my iPad so you could see the angle, started it, it never went live. So I'll have to figure out what's wrong with it. I mean, we have the camera. It was gonna be dope because when it uploaded, right, what you could do is I could have just stood in front of the fountain so that the whole time you'd see the fountain, but after it uploads, you could scroll through and see everybody. So it's just like, I don't know. Can YouTube do that? I thought that was Facebook. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on YouTube, but if you can't, yeah, after it loads, it'll be 360 on YouTube too. Pretty sure, yeah. Facebook does it where you just like turn and it shows you, right? But on YouTube, you can actually move it. No biggie. Yeah, it's kind of a biggie because that thing is like 600 something bucks. 360 live on Facebook, not YouTube. It doesn't work on YouTube. I thought I've seen it on YouTube. May Yah bless your efforts, brother. Thank you, man. Much love. Because maybe that's why it didn't work and I can just still use the 360 with the wide angle. It's still pretty cool. I wonder if I should try that right now. Because if that's the case, at least we know that's what the problem is. Which kind of sucks, but I appreciate all your efforts, fam. Thank you for the support. Much love, Kimmy. And James Henry. It isn't 360 door process, is right. So, but like, it wouldn't even make it go live. I know it's not live 360, but once it uploads, it is. But it wouldn't even send the live through. We sat here, I played the whole song. I'm looking at my phone, it's never changing. I'm asking the chat, like, what's going on? Are you guys live? And they're like, no. So I have to figure it out. So now we're on the phone like always, which sucks, right? Because like the Rode is in the phone, right? And so then I have it right here. And then I have a little strap now for the GoPro. So say someone gets in my face, I can just beep, beep, and get a close up. So I have it all set up. I thought we were gonna come out here crushing today, but the 360 wasn't working, so. But it's gonna be dope, we're gonna figure it out. Times are tough and gas prices are high. Here's a donation for the tour, y'all speed. Thank you very much, Kendall, much love. Always supporting. You're awesome. Gracias. I'll give you Joshua authentic content so he can give you instructions. It was crushed. Cool, like does he know how to do it on YouTube? I think doesn't he not even do it on YouTube now? I'll read Cash App and stuff in a second. Whatever someone sends during this stream, I'll catch up on the other ones on like a laptop stream. I'm not gonna sit here the whole time because I really look, guys. I wanted this in the background, right? Like I wanted this skyline of Chicago, and I might still like. I might show you guys that for just a little bit so that I can get a picture for the tour website, you know, with a good background. $4.99, a few shekels for your journey. Thank you very much, Cryptoville78. Thank you for the shekels. I'm not gonna dance for them though. That skyline is a mirage. Yeah. The fountain is kind of cool. It goes really high, see? Yeah, we see the same quote-unquote face of the moon. People are listening all along. Yeah, so look guys, you can like, he's telling me you can hear it all the way over here too. So. Is the moon a reflection of the earth? I'm not necessarily all the way on board with that theory, no. Austin, what up, bro? What up? But maybe it is somehow some type of reflection, and we're not understanding like the ocean water and how it would affect it. I don't really know. I don't know. Because right now I'm thinking that, you know, all the land that's inhabitable is just the highest elevations of the earth that are still popped up through the water that came from the flood. Noah effectively was just like, so like Noah was telling everyone, look, it's gonna rain. He's like, you're a crazy person, because it had never rained. Right? That's the part of the story that people leave out. Like, it had never rained, so they were like, you're crazy, bro. He's like, it's about to rain. It's going to flood the earth. And he's like, yeah, cool story, Noah. And so then it did. Then he's basically effectively sitting there floating, right, waiting for some of the water to go down until some of the lands popped up. Then he goes and finds it and you know, inhabits or whatever. And so that's why there was an antediluvian one world civilization, right? So there are tons of cities underneath the oceans, bro, that used to be in the one world civilization. And that's why they're finding major cities and structures underneath the ocean all the time. And typically they get suppressed. So that's something to think about. They are coming out of the oceans, bro. These aliens, they're coming out of the oceans. So I'm just saying, like, it's all about the oceans. So take it or leave it. All right, give me a sec. So we're also trying to come up with other games to play that are like more interactive, you know, so people want to play. And we thought about like scratch off cards, you know what I'm saying? Like scratch off cards, like lottery tickets, but they're super expensive. But people would want to come take a lottery ticket. It's not about the size of the aliens, it's about the motion of the ocean. Mike gone. You guys can't hear me? Can you guys hear me talking? Can I get an audio feedback? You switched up your speed. You are really growing. Thank you for the feedback. Yeah, I'm trying to get to where maybe it'll resonate with people more. Thank you, John, for the $10 PayPal. Much love, bro. I just saw it pop up, bruh. Anybody got anything they want me to talk about? Hear you when you're close. Yeah, I had to unplug the mic to charge the phone. That's why I don't like using the phone. I want to use that freaking camera right there. It just wasn't working.
We'll work on it tonight.
I'll have to do test streams or something later. Because I definitely want the 360 for the Game 6, right? So like, just so you guys know, in case you didn't somehow, like, we're gonna be back in Milwaukee for Game 6 And so the Bucks won Game 5. So if they win Game 6, they win the NBA championship. So we might be in Milwaukee for them winning the NBA championship. I got a Milwaukee Bucks jersey off Amazon for like $25, and I'm gonna bring the basketball back out there. We're gonna print off the city ordinance highlighted about how they have to measure me 5 decibels above the ambient noise, which is the background noise, so they can't make me stop. And so we're gonna get really close, pull out the mic with the jersey, with the basketball, potentially when they win Game 6. And I want the 360 camera, right, so that we can get it all recording. So we're gonna figure it out. Although those barriers are gonna help us set the camera up, right? So we might not go all the way to the front. Because how epic is that when it uploads and there's like tens of thousands of people and it uploads, you can scroll around like you're there and you can see whoever's hearing it's gonna be 10 times better. That's why I spent like my own money on that thing. Because I kept this too just so I can get closer. I was gonna return this, which was possible via an incredibly generous donation from Wendy, and I was gonna keep this. I'm gonna keep this so like when they pop up on me, I can just get like close interactions, so we can make like edited videos of funny boomers spiraling or something. See the empty seats for the camera. Yeah, I mean there's a decent amount of people over here. I mean there's not just a ton of people here. There were more people at that other thing, but it was Saturday also. So. Peace out, Jack. Much love. All right, I guess I'm gonna get back on here. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Time difference between Russia and Alaska, 20 hours. Only works on flat Earth. Biggest difference. Interesting. This is exhausting, guys. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Michael for pledging on Patreon. Much love, bro. Thank you. Shout out to all the Patreons. I want to really break down like the bottom of the ocean gravy on a computer stream, and I'll read all the donations out. Then I don't know if I'll have it in me tonight. I might, and then we're gonna leave and go to Milwaukee. Wonder about the symbolism of the Suns winning the NBA if it happens. Sun stops like in the Bible. Looks like they're about to lose, but I guess it's possible. Your son's a ginger with a much longer beard. Good. Tell him keep crushing. I don't want to talk about Dew. All right. Mountain though, just so we can get a still shot. All right, I'm gonna do this for a second. We just make sure we're good, and if I'm in the, all right, we're good. All right, so we're offering $100 cash to anybody here that can answer 3 questions. It's just like a trivia game. If you come and you get 3 questions right, you get $100 cash. No strings attached. You don't have to pay to play or pay if you lose or whatever. And I even tell you what the first question is
So, according to the globe Earth model, the supposed Earth model, how many times does the Earth supposedly spin every 24 hours? How many times does the Earth spin every day? If you get that right and the next two questions right, you win $100 cash. And they're basic questions. It's not like a setup. Like, they're really basic globe Earth questions. I do this for a reason, because people act like we're crazy for not believing in the globe Earth. Because I say stuff like, what makes you basically trip out? I'd say that the Earth is provably flat. The Earth is flat. The Earth's not a ball, it's flat. It's not spinning, it's stationary. The Earth is a geocentric stationary plane. The Earth is flat. Now everyone thinks that sounds crazy. So that's why I offer them $100 cash if they can come answer 3 questions about the globe Earth, right? Because if you think I'm crazy for not believing in the globe Earth, you should at least know what it is I'm crazy for not believing in. If you don't even know anything about it, you can't really act like I'm crazy, right? That's like saying you know the Bible's real, you just haven't read Genesis yet. So I offer $100 cash, right? Someone can come prove me wrong. Prove to me that you do know about the globe Earth. I've actually had some people that I debate that are in it, like they jump on here and they say, oh, I answered the questions in the chat. Where's my $100? We're not talking about you guys. We're talking about the average population that doesn't know anything about this conversation. If you actually hear all the evidence and still want to believe the Earth's a ball, I'm out. So $100 cash, all you gotta do is try. What can it hurt, right? But just so you know, the whole time we're up here, if you want to come up here and answer the questions, you win $100 if you get all 3 of them right. Very, very easy questions. Questions that literally every flat earther knows. There may be a couple exceptions. Every single flat earther knows these questions off the top of their head, and 99% of this entire park knows none of the answers. But the flat earthers are supposedly the dumb ones. Are you seeing the picture I'm trying to paint for you here? The flat earthers all know the questions. You guys say they're the dumb ones, but no one here knows the questions. So, no big deal though, right? I'm not like making fun of you. When I first heard about flat earth, I thought it was the dumbest thing I've ever heard. How do people in the 21st century think that the Earth's flat when we've been to space, bro? We're out in space. That's stupid. I thought the same thing. But you know what I did? I decided to go look into it just to prove the Earth's a globe. I figured it'd take 5 minutes. It does not. Try 5 years. It's been 5 years. You can't prove the Earth's a ball. But if you actually go try to prove the Earth's a ball and look for the real evidence, you'll become a flat earther. That's what happens. But so you have an option, right? It's either just keep sleepwalking asleep and pretend that I'm stupid and act like the Earth's a ball and don't research it, or be intellectually honest and go and research it so you can actually know what it is that you believe in. You should do this with everything. If you think the air is going to kill you, you should have researched that. If you think curfews and lockdowns are good, maybe you should research who's doing it. If you think fluoride's good for you, you should research it. If you think that you know where you live and that it's a spinning ball, you should research it. You should always research what you think is true. It's just very simple. Stop just blindly believing what people tell you. That's the problem. That's what got us in this mess. All right, so anyway, $100 cash to anyone that answers 3 questions right. $100 cash, simple questions. Some people have already heard me break a lot of this down, but I'm going to break through some of the basics real fast for people that are new. The whole time I'm going through this, you can come up here. You can get $100 cash for answering 3 questions. You can come up here and you can ask any question you think you can stump the stupid flat earther with. You can ask any question. If you have any genuine questions about how flat earther work, you can also ask those questions. We also have business cards with QR codes on them that takes you to the info that you can't find because it's heavily censored. The government admits they censor this, but who cares about the government forcibly taking away our right to free speech, right? As long as it doesn't affect you, then no one cares, which is how it works, and then you turn around and you don't have it either. But anyway,
For the simple fact that I don't even cuss in my live streams, and I tell people they were lied to about the earth, and that the Creator loves them, and that they're special, and they're being lied to. They're actually very powerful. They have a lot of spiritual power. They have a spirit. They have a light within them, literally. And for telling people this, I've been kicked off Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, DLive, YouTube, Venmo, PayPal. So you guys tell me what's up with that. You can twerk half naked on YouTube. If I tell you they lied about the earth, I'll get censored. That's wild. That should make you think. So they admitted in Congress that they censor flat earth. This is because in 2015 it exploded, right? It exploded. The top 2 Google terms in 2015 were Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, and right behind it was flat earth. It exploded, right? This is before YouTube had algorithms in place for it. So people started sharing the information. They researched the operations. They researched the moon landing. They went out and made long distance measurements. They found out it is not curving at the rate it has to be curving if the earth is in fact what they said it is. So what happened was hundreds of thousands of people started to compound. Once you find out this truth, you don't go back. Right? I say the joke, once you go flat, you don't go back. Because you literally don't. See, everyone out here that thinks the earth's a globe, well, every flat earther was once you also. We were also where you are. Okay? So the only difference is that some of us chose to look at the other side honestly. Some people will never do it, and that's definitely your own prerogative. But I'm traveling the U.S., jumping on the mic because it's the only way to get the word out there, because I'm being censored on everything. And it seems pretty important that we come together as they give us lockdowns and curfews and tell us what we have to wear, and no one realizes that the New World Order is being built right around them. Okay, so how do we know the earth is flat? That's a crazy claim. This crazy white boy saying the earth's flat. How would you know the earth's flat? You can measure the surface of the earth. It's just called surveying. You can physically measure the earth. Well, it has to curve at a certain rate if it's a sphere with a radius value. So the radius is the distance from the center to the edge of a circle or a sphere. The supposed radius of this sphere that isn't a sphere, it's actually pear-shaped, according to the official story, is 3,959 miles. That means it has to curve at 8 inches per mile squared, up to 1,000 miles. That means we have to see the curvature of the earth at 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. Very simply, if you're 1 foot off the surface, you have to see the curvature of the earth at 1.2 miles away. You have to see it. It's based on geometry. They claim it's a certain size. So whenever I ask people, hey, look out at that water, does the horizon look horizontal? Because that's where horizon came from. That's what it means. Horizontal. And they'll say, oh, well, the earth is so big, you can't see the curvature. Well, actually, according to the size claim they made, you can see the curvature directly in front of you. You wouldn't see it left or right, is what they say, which is a cool story. But you would see it in front of you. It would bulge and curve and block your view. Kind of like a pregnant lady, right? If a pregnant lady moved her hand over her stomach down to the bottom of her stomach, you couldn't see her hand anymore because it's blocked by the curve of her stomach. You can't see through her stomach. And I know it sounds funny, but I literally have to give illustrations this simple for people to really think about what I'm saying. The earth has to do that if it's a sphere. It has to physically block your view where you can't see the hand anymore because of the stomach. They know that because they said it's a certain size. That's why they told you in school, if you can remember, that boats disappear over the curvature of the earth. So when people say it's just so big you can't see it, that is not what the model says, though. Okay? It says you can see it. So what you do is you go out and you see if this curvature is actually there where it's supposed to be. This is why it's censored and admittedly so in Congress, by the way, because it's not just like a, what do you think the earth is? You can prove it. You can literally prove it. That's why the government censors it. That's why you'll never see a scientist, quote unquote, ever debate a real flat earther on national television. They would get thoroughly embarrassed. I would embarrass Neil deGrasse Tyson. Embarrass him. Guaranteed.
Anybody want to take side bets? Guaranteed. They'll never do it because he would get dismantled. But anyway, it's not a debate. You can prove it. So we went out and we measured the surface of the Earth. It has to curve at that certain rate that I told you, right? So if you're 1 foot off the surface based on the radius of 3959, you have to see the curvature at 1.2 miles away. This is called geometry, right? Basic geometry. The measurements of shape. Well, they said that there's a measurement of a certain size at the shape of the Earth that's supposedly a sphere. You can measure it. Okay? Well, 1 foot off the surface of the Earth, we have an observation where the horizon is over 10 miles away. But it's supposed to be at 1.2 miles away. Now, based on geometry, for the Earth to be a sphere and us see that horizon 10 miles away, the size of the Earth would have to have a radius value of 264,000 miles. 264,000 miles. They claim that the radius value is 3,959 miles. Just under 4,000 miles, we have an observation that would require be over 250,000 miles. You have to see the curvature at 1.2 miles when you're 1 foot off the surface, and it has to physically block your view, just like the pregnant lady's stomach, but it doesn't. We can see 10 miles before we see a horizon. We have an observation, and by the way, that falsifies the radius, which falsifies the entire model objectively. You only have to do it one time, but don't worry, we did it thousands of times. We saw mountains from 273 miles away. 273 miles away. According to the globe Earth math, those mountains were supposed to be blocked by 3 miles of Earth curvature, up and down. Vertical curvature. That means the ground was supposed to go up 3 miles and block your view. Yet we could see the mountains from 273 miles away. Literally impossible on a globe Earth. Impossible. We've seen mountains from 255 miles away, 200 miles away, 103 miles away. We saw the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles across Lake Michigan. Impossible on the globe Earth. It has to be blocked by Earth curvature. You can verify all this for yourself. That's what I did. That's what millions of other people did. They bought a P900 camera, a Nikon P900 or P1000. You can go out and you can make observations over long bodies of water and see if it's curving. Very simple. It is not. They lied. When you see this horizon out here, it's horizontal. That's why it's called horizon. Horizontal means flat. You know why it's called sea level? Because water always finds its level. That's how we get elevations, by the way. We measure a distance above sea level. We wouldn't be able to have any maps or know any elevations of any land masses in the entire world without having sea level. Sea level, assuming that it's level and flat. That's why we put fluid in levels to build things. Because water always finds its level. That's why this fountain is going to have the water keep falling down until it comes down, trying to find its level. It's called fluid statics. It's a natural law. If water always finds its level, how is 70% of the surface of the Earth ocean water that's flat and level on a ball? It could not be. It could not be. So there's the major proof, is you can actually measure it. So you got to be able to measure the surface of the Earth if it's a ball. Very simple. You can't do that though in a world. So another thing that debunks the globe Earth is they say that there is a vacuum of space. You guys ever heard of the vacuum of space? Okay. There's something called the second law of thermodynamics. By the way, this is where astrophysics professors can't answer the question either. So some of you got breathing oxygen. Okay, that's a gas. We have gas pressure on the Earth, right? We have 14.7 psi at the surface. We have gas pressure on the Earth. That's how we breathe. That's how we're alive, right? Now, how could you have gas pressure sitting to a vacuum, Louise? How can you have gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum? I'm about to go with the corded mic. The second law of thermodynamics. It says that entropy will increase And systems always seek equilibrium spontaneously. Heat goes to cold, high pressure goes to low pressure. I know it sounds nerdy or boring, but I need you to listen. It's a big deal. It's very simple. When you have a soda, the reason the soda's fresh is because it's tightly sealed, right? And it's carbonated, and it has a really high pressure. That's what keeps the soda fresh. As soon as you open it up, it goes psh, and equalizes, instantaneously seeking equilibrium, because there's lower pressure outside the soda that has higher pressure. High pressure always goes to low pressure, spontaneously seeking equilibrium. This is called the second law of thermodynamics. It's a natural law. It's not debated. It's not a theory we came up with. It's happened always, forever, for all recorded history, cannot be disputed. It's a fact. How can you have a pressurized system of gas pressure sitting next to a vacuum of 10 to the negative 17 torr without a containment? The gas pressure would fill the vacuum, instantaneously seeking equilibrium. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. That's where all the aerospace engineers and astrophysicists I debate, they all tap out with this one, by the way. There is no answer. The vacuum of space they told you about literally cannot exist. It's impossible. Scientifically impossible. There is no vacuum of space. When you look up and you see the stars, they're not in an empty void of nothingness and thousands of light years away. And you just see the stars, but actually they're not there anymore. You just think they are. No, you just see the stars that are there, and they're definitely not thousands of light years away in a vacuum. That's a fairy tale. You can't have a vacuum of space. Literally. The second law of thermodynamics debunks the globe. Fluid statics debunks the globe because water finds its level. Physical measurements of the earth debunk the globe, and that's the big one. If the earth is a ball, you have to be able to physically measure the curvature. How come that's never been done in the history of mankind? Anyone want to answer that? If the earth's a sphere, you have to be able to circumnavigate it north to south. How come that's never been done in the history of mankind, and it's illegal to even try to do it? It's called the Antarctic Treaty. Anyone want to answer that? So it's very simple. The government decided to lie to you. They drew a circle around you. It's called the 60th south latitude. And the Antarctic Treaty says it is illegal for you to go beyond that point. You cannot privately, freely explore it. So you guys think you can travel wherever you want to in the world? You guys think we know all about the world, you can go wherever you want to? That is not the truth, though. They literally drew a circle around you. It's called the Antarctic Treaty, and they said you're not allowed to go past this point. And most of you guys don't even know the circle's a thing. Much less do you know the implications of it. Much less are you trying to fight against it. You guys don't even know the circle exists. It's called the Antarctic Treaty. It's public information. Russia, China, every major world country, every single major world superpower has agreed to the Antarctic Treaty, which says it's illegal for you to go past the 60th south latitude towards Antarctica to explore it, which is what would prove the Earth's a ball, because you would circumnavigate it and pop back up on the other side, but no one's ever done it for all recorded history. The U.S. military went and explored this region with Operation High Jump in 1946. They then came back and they signed the Antarctic Treaty and said, you're not allowed to go where we just found out whatever's there. So what did they find that they say we're not allowed to go see? Probably just a coincidence that it would prove the Earth's a ball, huh? Well, someone by the name of Captain Cook, he circumnavigated He circumnavigated the Earth around this area in like 1755. He went 68,000 miles, and all he saw the whole time was an ice shelf. Now, Antarctica is known to have the highest elevation in the world. There is an ice shelf that goes around containing the water. So when people say, can you fall, the Earth can't be flat, you would fall off. No, you would not. Can you fall off a lake? Can you fall off of a pond? No, there's a shore. How far does it go beyond that? We don't know. It's illegal to go there. Ancient maps actually show that there are dozens of more continents around outside of that, and it's illegal for us to go explore it. So when you pretend you know what's there, you literally do not. It's illegal. No one has. In fact, people have tried, flat earthers have tried to go there, and they intercept you and arrest you and don't even let you go to court with due process. What a free country. So when you guys ridicule us for trying to wake you up, you're actually supporting huge countries telling the people of those countries they're not allowed to privately explore, and they will actually arrest you if you try to do it. So you should think about what you're defending. So anyway, 1946, that's when the U.S. military went and explored this area. The guy that did that, his name is Admiral Byrd. Okay, Admiral Byrd came back in an interview in 1954, and he said there's an area as big as the continental U.S. on the other side of Antarctica that remains unexplored, and no one knows about it. So he said there's a huge area out there that no one knows about, with tons of resources. He then died 3 years later when he was in perfect health. He died from mysterious heart complications in 1957 after he got on TV and told the American people that there was something out there. And in 1958, the year after he died, which was 3 years after the interview, they founded NASA. NASA in Hebrew means to deceive. They have a snake tongue going through their logo. Probably just a coincidence, though. In 1959, they signed the Antarctic Treaty. So they went and explored the region. This is all declassified and verifiable, by the way. The military admits everything I'm telling you. So when you try to like make fun of me, we just know you're ignorant. It's okay, I forgive you. No big deal. So they went and explored this region. Then they came back and signed a treaty and said it's illegal for you to go there. So do you guys support the world's governments telling you you're not allowed to explore the Earth? Did you know the Antarctic Treaty was a thing? Do you know what the 60th south latitude is? Do you know what the radius value is? Do you know the curvature rate? Do you know how fast the Earth spins? Do you know how far the sun is? Do you know how fast we're going around the sun? Do you know how to test this? Do you know what the scientific evidence for gravity is? Do you know any of this? Of course not. This is boring. This nerdy white boy's killing my vibe. I got to post a pic for the gram. I just got to get on TikTok. Pretty face, small waist with a big bang. Who? Never heard of him. Say it again? I'll have to look into that. Take this car, bro. Cool, there's a QR code. Yeah, I'll check them out for sure. Much love, bro. So yeah, there's something more important than your Instagram. Speaking of, who owns Instagram? Does anyone know? Facebook. Well, check this out. DARPA, which is a U.S. military corporation that comes up with technology, like secret technology, they created a platform identical to Facebook, and they worked on it for years in order to surveil the American public. Then they shut it down, and the very next day, Facebook started. Probably just a coincidence. The government runs Facebook, so don't worry, your gram's not going anywhere. The government loves it. It's how they keep you distracted. It's how they keep you distracted. So, and now they're coming out and admitting that Facebook works with the government. Yeah, you don't say? The government made it, bro. But anyway, I digress. By the way, stop watching the news. It's used to put you in a fear state, which makes you easier to brainwash, and they're trying to control you and scare you, and it's also run by the CIA. It's declassified, Operation Mockingbird. According to the CIA, they run the mainstream news, so take it up with them. I know it sounds crazy, but stop watching CNN, bro. Stop watching Fox News, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, whatever you want to pick. Okay, they admitted that you're watching CIA agents talk when you're watching news anchors. That's weird. All right, so they drew a circle around you. They told you you're not allowed to go there. The U.S. military went and looked at the Antarctica region. They came back and said, whatever they found, they don't want you to know about. And they signed the Antarctic Treaty, said it's illegal to go there. It's the longest lasting peace treaty in modern history. It's not even up for review until 2040. Every major world country has signed it, including all these supposed geopolitical enemies like Russia and China and the United States. This is a huge deal as they scare you on the news about China this, China that, Russia this, Russia that. No, there's no America versus China. It's governments versus people. The governments are working together. I guess they forgot to tell you. Kind of like they forgot to tell you that when they said it would be 2 weeks, just wear the mask for 2 weeks, they actually meant it was going to be a year and a half. So if you're waiting for CNN to come out and say government takes over, that's a pipe dream. You need to wake up. So then they supposedly claim we went to the moon. And that's when we proved the Earth was a ball, because we turned around on the moon and took a picture of the Earth being a ball from space. Well, did you know 1 in 3 Americans didn't even believe in the moon landing at the time? Most people my age think the moon landing was probably faked, but a lot of people seem to believe in it. It's really crazy. The people that watched the actual movie, quote unquote, they didn't believe in it. But people nowadays haven't even seen the movie. They just heard it's real, and so they believe it. You did not go to the moon in 1969. Did you know NASA says they can't go back? Anybody want to enlighten me who's the conspiracy theorist again? NASA said they went to the moon in 1969. And in 2021, they say that they can't go back. They said they destroyed the technology that got them there, and they haven't been able to rebuild it yet. Wow. Honestly, I feel dumb saying it out loud. They destroyed the technology from 69 that got them there, and they can't rebuild it. They lost all the telemetry data, which would be the tapes that were miles and miles long that would have proven it. They accidentally lost it or recorded over it. They supposedly brought moon rocks back and gave them to different governments. One of the governments were Holland, and when they tested the moon rocks, guess what they really were? Petrified wood. So why'd they go to the moon and then have to bring back fake moon rocks? Why can't they do what they did in 1969? You know, we give NASA $60 million every day. NASA gets $60 million a day. Flint, Michigan can't get clean water, but NASA gets $60 million a day, and they can't do what they supposedly did in 1969. You know why they can't do it? Because it's real easy to fake a movie in black and white. Good luck trying to fake a moon landing now when we have 4K in our pocket. We're going to pick it apart so fast, they're scared to fake it again. That's the truth. They're not going to fake it. And they would love nothing more than to come out and be able to admit it was fake so they could just stop lying about it. But if they did that, they know everyone would never trust them again, so they got to keep doubling down on the lie. You didn't go to the moon. The reason that's a big deal is because that's supposedly when we took the picture of Earth from space. Now, most of you guys think there are pictures of Earth from space right now that we're taking in space right now. That's what most of you guys think. Well, NASA says they can't get past low Earth orbit to see the Earth in entirety anymore. Humans can't go to past low Earth orbit anymore. It's too dangerous, according to NASA. But we did it like 6 times back and forth in the 60s effortlessly. So they showed the whole world something called the blue marble. It was the default wallpaper on iPhones, first generation. Everyone's seen the blue marble, right? The supposed really beautiful picture of the Earth from space being a ball. It's called the blue marble. Well, if you go to NASA's website, what they say about the blue marble is it isn't actually a real picture. That they take high altitude pictures, then they stitch it together in a flat map, they wrap it around a ball. Then they bring an artist in, and the artist does an artist rendition to match what the observer expects it to look like. The artist's name is Robert Simmons. He's quoted as saying, "Of course it's photoshopped because it has to be." This is on NASA.gov's own website. They just know that most of you guys would never go look at that. You guys saw the picture and didn't know it was a cartoon. You believed it was a real picture, and then you just kept going on about your day. That's why it worked. They don't have to say, look, this is a real picture. All they have to do is show you the supposed picture, and you'll just assume it's real. And then we, the diligent researchers, actually go to their website, read about it, and find out it isn't even a real picture under their own admission. And hey, here's the kicker. Even if they did claim they had real pictures, which they don't, they admit they're composites, or CGI, computer-generated images. I've seen pictures of Superman, bro. Is Superman real? What? Oh. So no, there aren't real pictures of the Earth from space. So most people are like, you're crazy. We have pictures of the Earth from space. You think it's flat? But we don't have real pictures of the Earth from space. So who's crazy? You didn't even know that. Just be honest. You didn't even know that. Right? That's why I'm very comfortable when I go around the whole U.S. in every major city. I'm like, hey, I'll give anyone here $100 if you can answer 3 questions correctly about the globe Earth. $100. I'll even tell you what the first question is, and it's the easiest question I could think of. Supposedly, how many times does the Earth spin every day? If you get that right, and the next 2 questions right, you win $100. And they're basic questions that every single flat earther knows, and almost no one out here knows. So, if you're being honest, you can't really honestly say that someone is stupid that knows about the subject when you don't know about it, right? Let's just be real. That's just dumb, bro. $100 cash. Well, I haven't been able to give the money away. I take answers that are close. I let them round up. I let them use entire groups of people. They can't answer the questions. Half the time I say the answers on the mic outside and then let them come up and try. Because no one knows anything about the earth or what it supposedly is or how you would test it. That's why the lie works. Most people are like, are you saying everyone's lying? No. There's some quote-unquote professors or scientists. They think the earth's a ball. They're not lying. That's right. You want to try a second question? You're, 1,037 miles per hour. Yeah, once is the right answer. You want to try your second one? Might as well try. All right. How far away is the sun? Dang, they're brainwashing him. That's cool that he's likes to think. No. No. Hell no. Really? Okay, sweet. Yeah, Chris, yeah. Yeah, once every time. Yeah, it's right over 1,000. Yeah. No, that's cheating, bro. Come on. I'd be broke. Oh, you're good. No. I was born... no, 93 million. It's something crazy. It's always crazy. What's 93 miles, yeah. I usually make them up. Like what's the, yeah, you did. But you gotta get all three right in a row. But what's the circumference of the earth? How big is it around? These are easy questions. This is like the most basic parts of the story, dude. That's why I do the game, because no one knows anything about it, bro. I gotta go to Milwaukee for Game 6. I'm gonna. Really? Oh, nice. Okay, cool. We're going right. Yeah, just because I don't want to get attacked when I get on the mic. You know, I'm wearing a Bucks jersey, and I think it's cool. I think the Bucks are cool. You're going for the Bucks? Cool. Then you might hear me outside on the mic doing this. Cool. You ever got a card yet? There's a QR code. It'll take you to all of our stuff. Yeah, bro, much stuff. Hopefully we see you there. That's cool. Yeah. Sweet. Y'all hear me outside on the mic? I'm telling everyone what they think I'm crazy for. The Earth's not a spinning ball in a vacuum. Hey, did you guys know the Earth's actually flat? The Earth is flat. The Earth's not a ball, it's flat. It's not moving right now. That's why you don't feel like you're moving, because it's not. You were created. The Creator loves you, by the way. Hey, do you guys know that the Earth's actually flat? The Earth is flat, bro. Do you know that? Look out at that water. Do you see how flat it is? The water's always flat. You know why? Because water always finds its level. That's why it's always flat. It's called fluid statics. The Earth's such a ball that it's flat everywhere, and I can't measure the curvature, and I just believe in cartoons that NASA showed me, because the government would never lie. The government worked with Nazis and went to the moon, though, Austin. What are you talking about? And guys, it's not really a big deal. It's not gonna like ruin your life or anything. It's freeing, right? Like you can now trust your senses. You know when you're walking and you're not accounting for the Earth moving, it's because the Earth's not moving. It's not a big deal. Whenever you see the Earth's flat, you're just like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's why it's always looked flat my whole life, because it is. That's why the water looks flat, because water always finds its level. That's why the horizon looks horizontal. That's why it's called horizon. That's why the sun looks like it moves in the sky, because the sun is moving in the sky. Not because you're falling backwards 1,000 miles an hour during a sunset and the sun's actually sitting still. It just looks like it's moving. That's ridiculous. That's a cool story, bro. Oh, the sun and the moon look like they're the same size. It's because they're the same size. No, the sun isn't 400 times bigger than the moon, but coincidentally exactly 400 times further away also by random chance, so they look like they're the same size. And the whole trick is this, right? No one knows any of that. If they told you when you were 5 that either the sun and the moon are the same size, like they look like they are, but actually the sun's 400 times bigger, just coincidentally exactly 400 times further away, you'd be like, they're probably just the same size, crazy lady. Right, but that's why they don't tell children both sides. And that's why I'm out here, so the children get to hear both sides. And you should never, ever keep children away from being able to make up their own mind and hear the evidence for themselves. That's called brainwashing them. If the earth's really a ball, nothing I can say should ever put you in fear. You should be able to find out the evidence it's a ball. Guess what? You can't. Doesn't exist. Doesn't exist. And if you look into it, you'll find out. All right, and so here's really why we're doing this. I want to kind of get the fountain lit up. The reason that we're doing this, and I think it's so important right now, is we're being heavily censored. Now, Flat Earth has been censored for a long time, but now everyone's getting censored, right? Everyone's getting censored. Anyone that questions the official narrative or reads a medical journal or questions anything going on for the last year and a half or questions that air is going to kill you. Is it a good shot? They get censored. So now they've stepped up their game. And now everyone knows that censorship's real. You guys didn't care or even know when we were being censored for the last 5 years. And then getting death threats, getting fired from our jobs because we're flat earthers. You think that's a cool world to live in? You can't even disagree with a governmental story about going to the moon or you might get fired. Right? Death threats, can't get 6-figure job offers, have to turn them down because you won't stop talking about the earth. Getting censored and kicked off every social media platform. Working to build your YouTube up just so they can delete it and permanently erase it. Kick you off Venmo and PayPal, how you make a living. Right? Forcibly censor us. And you guys didn't know about it, and no one cares until it applies to them. Most of you guys still don't care while they're censoring everybody now that questions the official narrative about the last year and a half as they give you curfews and lockdowns. You're not even allowed to speak out against it or you get censored. So now it does apply to you guys a little bit, and it's probably time that we wake up because they are now doubling down. See, that's how it works. If people had stood up for flat earthers 5 years ago, or any other, fringe topic that's censored, then we wouldn't be in this mess right now. But you guys didn't. So now we're sitting here and we're being censored about the most important thing in modern history, the biggest psychological operation that we will ever experience, where the entire world shut down on the same exact day. And they told us 2 weeks, but it's been a year and a half, and now you have lockdowns and curfews like prisons do. And you're not allowed to talk about it, or you'll be censored. You guys don't think that's a big deal? Who cares, bro? I heard Polo G just dropped that heat. I just got to post a pic for the gram, bro. Trying to find a baddie on Snap, though. So things are more important than social media, bro. It's not going anywhere. Like, think for yourself and realize that if you have loved ones, if you got homies that you love, brothers and sisters that you love, parents that you love, grandparents that you love, children that you love, you need to realize what's going on. The children that are growing up right now are not going to live in a free country anymore if we don't stand up against it. They're forcibly censoring us. They're taking away our First Amendment. You know why it's the First Amendment? Because if you can't speak out against the government, you don't have any freedom. That's why it's the first one. Well, they're attacking it. Don't worry, the second one's soon to follow. And once the second one's gone, all of them are gone. That's what protects all of them. You don't need the government's permission to breathe oxygen. We tested the air. It's still good for you. Trust me, it's still what keeps you alive. So don't let them put you in a state of fear. I can't get too specific because I'll literally get kicked off YouTube. Literally. I got censored on YouTube for reading a medical journal word for word about this little ordeal that's been going on. I can't even read medical journals word for word. Doctors are being fired. Doctors can't even speak out. So you should realize what's going on. The point is that they do that because they're lying about a lot of the details about what's going on, and that's why they censor flat earth, because they're lying about the earth. And you can think it's a coincidence because this is really what it is, right? To even entertain the idea of being a quote-unquote flat earther, it makes you uncomfortable. Because you're like, dude, I don't ever want to be the guy that everyone thinks is crazy. So literally because of that alone, that stigma alone, you won't even research it. You know nothing about it, but you'll ridicule me as you walk by like they just did. But you'll never actually be honest about it. You'll never diligently research it. You don't know anything about it, right? And that's the problem. That's called ignorance, bro. And no, ignorance isn't bliss if you haven't realized you have lockdowns and curfews now. How blissful is that? So we need to wake up before it's too late, just objectively. Is it dark?
A little bit.
So the Earth is provably a geocentric stationary plane. The sky is reset for all recorded history around Polaris. Polaris is the North Pole star, and it's directly over the North Pole, the center of the surface of the Earth. So there's a star in the sky that's in the center, and it's been there for all recorded history. And every other star moves around it in perfect circles and keeps on resetting year after year after year for thousands of years for all recorded history. And that star that's in the center is directly over the center of the surface. The Earth is the center of everything. It doesn't move, and the sky revolves over top of us. The Earth is geocentric. So if the Earth is the center of everything, how did it get there? If the Earth is the center of everything that exists, how did it get there? It had to be placed there. It had to be created. So that's one of the biggest reasons that they would have lied, to hide a creator. Now, I'm not talking about religion. I'm just talking about the fact that there is scientifically no other way other than the fact that there was a creator. Okay? Now, what you do with that, that's on you. I would say the scriptures are true and religion sucks, and they messed it up and they changed his name from Yeshua to Jesus, and they call him God and Lord and took his name out 6,000 times, but whatever, right? That's for you to figure out. But the earth was created. And that means that you were created. Now, if you know that you're created, it's harder to brainwash you, isn't it? Because you're like, oh, wait, there's a creator that made me and loves me and made the earth, and so I'm pretty powerful, huh? I answer to the creator. I don't answer to the government. I don't get my rules from the government. See, there's something called nihilism. It means apathy, right? To not care about anything. Most people are nihilist nowadays, and they actually think that they're atheist. Which, by the way, atheism doesn't actually exist. There's no such thing. Atheism means no deity. No one here can say they know for a 100% fact that there is no creator. No one can say they know for 100% fact that there's no creator. So there's no such thing as atheism. You're agnostic at best, but I digress. There's something called nihilism. Most people are nihilists because they think they're atheists, right? Well, people are just nihilists anyway, even if they're agnostic or whatever. They just don't care about anything, right? So we came from apes. People think evolution is science when it's literally pseudoscience. It's not even an agreed upon theory. It has no evidence. It's literally a fairy tale. Literally stupid. But anyway, so they think they just came from apes, right? And we're on this tiny speck of dust in this ever-expanding universe, and everything is just random and chaotic, and nothing matters, and you could die, and that's the end of everything. So they just walk around like empty, nihilistic zombies. Well, when you're nihilistic and you have a bunch of apathy, it's much easier to brainwash you. This is why they gave slaves in concentration camps fluoride, because it made them nihilistic. It made them docile. It made them easy to brainwash. So hiding the creator is a big deal. Of course, technically, these guys are Luciferians, and they hate the creator, and they happen to know the scriptures are true, but I digress. Most of you guys, when I say the scriptures are true, you check out right there, right? So I'm just trying to wake you up to the major deception. There was a creator. The scriptures are true, but religion sucks. You don't have to go to a man on sun worship day to give him money. The Sabbath is actually Saturday, Shabbat. But anyway, so the people that lied about this, they're Luciferians. Have you ever heard of Lucifer? So to make it to the 33rd degree of Freemasonry, you have to know the earth is flat, and you have to know that you're a Luciferian. If you've ever heard of Lucifer, then you've heard of the number 666. So the Luciferians know what the earth is, but they told you a lie about what the earth is. They drew a circle around you, said you're not allowed to leave it, and said, look, it's a ball. Here's a cartoon. NASA went and proved it. which NASA, of course, means to deceive, literally in Hebrew. So let's see how many times 666 coincidentally pops up in the globe Earth model. So the supposed circumference of the Earth in nautical miles is 21,600. That's 6 times 6 times 600. The North and South Arctic circles are supposedly at 66.6 degrees latitude. We're supposedly on a 66.6 degree tilt on an axis. 66.6 degrees. While we go around the sun 66,600 miles per hour. With a 0.666 feet per mile squared curvature rate, all using gravity, discovered in 1666. You guys think those are all coincidences? There's also something called the Selenilian eclipse. A lot of people say, if the Earth is flat, what about eclipses? See, NASA admits that they cannot use the heliocentric model to predict eclipses. They use something called the Saros cycle, which comes from the Chaldeans, a Babylonian civilization from 2500 BC. They have to use a flat Earth civilization's cycle to predict eclipses to this day. On their own website, they admit that. I thought we've been to space, bro. How can they not predict eclipses? Why do they have to use the flat Earth map from 2500 BC? Okay, and there's a lunar eclipse that happens called the Selenilian eclipse. Right. So, okay, according to the globe Earth, a lunar eclipse is where the Earth blocks the light from the sun and it casts a shadow onto the moon. Right? Well, during the lunar eclipse called the Selenilian eclipse, the sun and the moon are both above the Earth during the eclipse. They're above the horizon, above the Earth. How is the Earth blocking the light from the sun if the sun's above the Earth? It's called the Selenilian eclipse. It debunks the globe Earth. It's a geometric impossibility. Guess what year they say they first recorded the Selenilian eclipse? 1666. So this is a Luciferian trick. They lie to you, okay? They know what the Earth is. Knowledge is power. It's much more powerful whenever they're the only ones with it. So they know what the Earth is. They know there's electromagnetism all around us. They know how to have free electricity while they give us utility bills. And then they drew a circle around you and they said, you're not allowed to leave here. Stay in your playpen. Be some good slaves. And you're actually insignificant. There's nothing special about you. You came from apes. You're a tiny speck of dust in an ever-expanding universe. Because now they can brainwash you. So we're trying to free you from the mental chains, right? You can't have pressure next to a vacuum. That's a lie. The vacuum of space is impossible. They put their number all over it. NASA means to deceive in Hebrew. It has a snake tongue going through it. It's also an anagram for Satan. Anagram is where you rearrange the letters, right? For Satan, but it's missing the T. Well, what do they say when they shoot rockets up? T minus. They minus the T, bro. And it means to deceive in Hebrew, has a snake tongue going through its logo, and they put 666 all over the model just to show you exactly who did it. And if you don't figure it out, then they think that that's your problem, right? It's called the natural law. If they show you to your face and you don't figure it out, then they think they don't get any repercussions from tricking you. That's why they show you the truth. That's why whenever you watch the ISS, they'll glitch out and their hand will go through coffee cups and microphones, because they have to show you that they're faking it, and you have to still believe it. You can go to NASA's website and they say it's just a cartoon, it's not a real picture. You still believe it though. So they think it's not their problem. They have to show you. Look at it's all in every logo. Once you see it, you will never unsee it. Look at the Disney logo. By the way, the Disney worked with NASA. Huge contract with NASA. Just a coincidence. Why does NASA have to work with Disney? Oh, probably because they're making movies and cartoon productions. But anyway, all the way back to the moon landing time. Look at the logo from Disney. It's like a firmament. It draws the container. It draws a dome, and then it has the Tower of Babel coming up through it with the Disney castle. It's been right in front of you the whole time. You will never unsee it. Have you ever seen the movie Truman Show with Jim Carrey? Y'all ever heard of the movie called The Truman Show with Jim Carrey? The True Man Show. In the movie, Jim Carrey thinks he lives on a ball, right? But he's actually in this dome the whole time, and everyone's watching him from the outside, like a sitcom. And then he finally realizes it and tries to go to the edge. Truman Show. They show you in the movies, and people think it's just fake. So the truth is, the basic rule is, they lie in the news, and they tell the truth in TV shows and movies. And as they tell you the truth, if you choose to still believe the lie, they think that they don't have to worry about it, because it's called the natural law of attraction. Right? If you choose to believe the lie, it's no longer their problem. And by the way, the natural law is pretty real. So yeah, there you go. NASA worked with Nazis. They didn't even really change the name much. NASA, Nazis. And we're just going to go with the official narrative of the Nazis. I will say, just so you know, history is a complete and total lie. Like, just about everything they said about history is a lie, but anyway, they were more advanced back in the day. The Egyptians were very advanced. Every ancient civilization knew the earth was flat and didn't move. The heliocentric model wasn't even taught in America for like the last 100 years or so. There are people still alive that was taught the earth was flat in school. Now, people here think they knew the earth was a ball for thousands of years, and that's just a complete and total fairy tale. That isn't real. But anyway, you can test the surface of the earth and see if it's curving. We saw mountains from 273 miles away. Based on the globe earth math, it should have been blocked by 3 miles of vertical earth curvature. Why can I see the mountains from 273 miles away? No one ever answers it. Why did I see the skyline of Chicago from 60 miles away? If the globe earth says the whole skyline should have been blocked, no one answers that one. We have hundreds and hundreds of observations. Did you know that there are hundreds of military documents that say that the Earth's a flat, non-rotating surface? Why does the military say the Earth is flat? Is this a good shot? Is this a good shot? Cheer for flat Earth. Flat Earth. Flat Earth. What's up with these creepy little animals? What are these? So anyway, they lied about the Earth. It's a geocentric stationary plane. It's not a big deal. But this is where it gets serious, right? Most people get so uncomfortable about this that they want to attack me. They want to ridicule me. They refuse to research it. They shut down. It's something called cognitive dissonance, and where you have two contradictory beliefs in your mind at the same time, so your brain shuts down and loses cognitive ability. There's also something called the Stockholm Syndrome. And that's where basically if someone is held captive, they end up adoring their captor, right? That's what you guys effectively have done with the government. And I am not trying to make fun of you or belittle you or say I'm better than you. Far from it, right? We're all the human race. We need to come together, stand up for our freedom. I was once fooled also. I used to think the earth was a ball. And when someone told me they think the earth's flat, I thought it was the dumbest thing I'd ever heard. I instinctively laughed out loud. I said, how in the world in the 21st century are people so stupid they think the earth's flat when we've been to space? Well, you know what I did? I went and researched it. I was like, I'm just going to find pictures of the earth from space. Uh-oh. NASA admits their cartoons. No big deal. I'll just look up pictures of the satellites in space. Uh-oh. Why don't you just Google satellite pictures in space and see what you find? Nothing but cartoons. Literal, very easy to see cartoons, by the way. Like, cartoons. Then I'm like, okay, well, it's all good. I mean, we got to be able to see the curvature somewhere, right? Uh-oh. Uh-oh, we don't see the curvature anywhere. You measure the surface and the curve's not anywhere. We have long-distance observations impossible on the ball. Oh, well, there's got to be some evidence, right? Like, we're shooting through space, so we've got to have some evidence that we're shooting through space, right? Oh, the sky resets for all recorded history, day after year after year. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, how's that work? So what I found out was you can't actually empirically, scientifically prove the globe at all. It makes claims contradictory to science, and you can go out and measure the surface and see if they lied, and that is why they censor it. Because it is not a debate. It is not an opinion. Literally, you can prove it. That's why I've been kicked off Venmo and PayPal. That's why that they cripple us and they give us death threats and all this crazy stuff. As I had to turn down a 6-figure job offer just to come out here and be the crazy white boy talking on the mic. What do I get from this? I'm just trying to wake you guys up. That's what I get from it. So open your mind and look into it. You can measure the surface. You can prove it. You can prove it. You can take a camera out. You can look over that large body of water and you can see if the curvature is where it's supposed to be. You can zoom in, and if you see too far, then it's not a ball. Oh yeah, a lot of people ask why I do this. He reminded me. One of the main reasons that I do this is for the children, right? So like children are being lied to as well, right? And like if you're an adult and you want to believe the lie because of arrogance or pride or ego, whatever, that's cool, man. But the children have the right to hear both sides, do they not? They have the right to think for themselves. So whenever the child should be told, well, either the earth is not spinning and that's why you don't feel like it's spinning, or it's actually spinning 1,000 miles per hour and you just can't feel it. No, you just tell them that the earth is spinning, and you just tell them that they're insignificant, they came from apes, and that they're a tiny speck of dust. You just tell them all these lies and make them feel insignificant and not special from like 5 years old up. They're told that they're not special. They're told that nothing about them matters, and that they came from apes, and that everything came from nothing, and lightning struck some random little primordial soup, and everything evolved into humans eventually, and there's nothing special about them, and they could get hit by an asteroid tomorrow, and no one loves them other than their parents. There wasn't a creator. You're not protected. You're out in this ever-expanding nothingness vacuum, a void, where asteroids are going to come and get you anytime, and that's what killed the dinosaurs. They're told they can't trust any of their senses from like 5 up. They're being lied to and brainwashed. And children are very malleable. They're innocent. So they suspect you of being innocent as well. They can't help it. They can't comprehend it. They just instinctively think you're being honest because they are innocent. You can tell them that they can be a spaceship and they'll believe it. So stand up for the children. I'm not trying to say that children should be told they have to believe the earth's flat. What I'm saying is they should be told both sides of the information and allowed to think for themselves. It's despicable to lie to children and brainwash them. You're very special. So any child that hears me, you're very special. The Creator does love you. You were made in the image of the Creator. You have a lot of power. You're beautiful, okay? You are special. And don't let anyone lie to you. And where you live is special. And it was made for you. You have lots of power, okay? And you can do whatever it is that you set your mind to. And don't let people try to tell you that you're insignificant. It isn't true. So there you go. So in conclusion, look, I know it sounds kind of nerdy or some people just want to check out. It's very simple. You can't have pressure next to a vacuum. It's impossible. They lied about the vacuum of space. We measure the surface. It's not curving. Please, I encourage you to research it independently and go figure it out for yourself. Don't blindly believe me. We do have business cards with QR codes up here that'll take you to the info that's typically censored. I don't make money off of doing that. I just try to get the info out. I've spent my own money to travel the U.S. So I'm just trying to wake you guys up before it's too late. The Earth's geocentric, which means it was created. You're special. You're made in the image of the Creator. Please accept it and stop denying it and running away. And stop turning to the government to tell you how to think and what to believe and where you live and what is or what isn't important. It's not up to them. And in conclusion, as is applicable to today in clown world, you don't need the government's permission to breathe oxygen. You don't need the government's permission to come out of your house. You don't get curfews from the government. We're not 12 anymore. We don't have curfews. I'm not in prison, bruh. I don't have lockdowns. And once again, this ties right back to the children thing, right? Most of you guys have sleptwalked through the New World Order being rolled out right in front of you, and you've taken your curfews and your lockdowns like good little slaves, and you've wore what they told you to wear. But you've also told the children to be scared, and that they should be scared of the air, and that they have curfews, and they have lockdowns. They don't even know what normal life is anymore, and you don't have the right to take away their future freedom. If you want to be selfish, keep it to yourself. If you want to not care about what's going on, don't put them in it. Stand up so they have the right to be free. You are free. You got to grow up to being an adult and free. Now you're going to let your child grow up with no freedom? Where they can't freely express themselves with the First Amendment anymore, like we can't even read medical journals online anymore, they get deleted. You're going to let them grow up in a world where they can't speak their mind, where they can't breathe the air, where they're supposed to be scared of the air, where they're not allowed to leave the house unless the government tells them they can leave the house, where they have lockdowns. You guys just going to let this happen? You guys are going to let this happen to the future generations? What are you going to say when your son or daughter looks you in the eyes and says, Daddy, Mommy, where were you whenever they took over? What were you doing when the government took over? I was watching the Suns play the Bucks. Wake up before it's too late. That's why we're traveling the United States, and I put my business on pause to do this because it's getting very crazy. They are starting to censor anyone that questions anything, and they know. There's only a select handful of us that have already woken up and figured this stuff out, and now we're trying to wake everyone else up. So if they censor us, and then they keep on hitting you with the brainwash of the news, that they'll win. I had to go out into the world with the microphone in major cities to try to wake people up because we're that censored. You think I want to do this? So anyway, wake up before it's too late. They lied about the earth, but look, man, They lie about everything. The government always lies. The government lies about entire wars that murder thousands and millions of people. Are we supposed to be surprised they lied again? You think NASA's the one exception? The reason this is important is it shows every single major country's working together. It's not China versus Russia or America versus China. It is government versus people. And they have kept you divided and distracted so that they can roll out the slave state. And this has just happened for, I don't know, all recorded history. So now you're arguing about Democrat or Republican, right or left, Biden or Trump, when the truth is every U.S. president's related and they all track back to English royalty. So you're going to argue about who you pick out of the family reunion when there's no change that ever actually happens, and the only change that happens is that each year the government gets more powerful and passes more laws and more rules so that you can't be free anymore? You're going to argue about right and left when every U.S. president's related? You're going to argue about race when the truth is race isn't real. There's one race, it's the human race, and I don't change race throughout summer. That's stupid. We have different color skin. Get over it. You're going to argue about what color you are or how important that makes you. Who's the bigger victim? Look, we are all a victim to the government taking over. We are all the human race. And this is about us versus them trying to take us over. And you think it's hyperbolic or extreme, but that's why it works. That's why it works, bro. So watch out for the digital tracking system. Stand up against it and stand up for the future generations where we don't have freedom anymore. They have divided and they have conquered us or they are currently conquering us because you guys are distracted. You guys are on Instagram, you guys are on Twitter, you guys are on Facebook, you guys are on YouTube, and you just stare at your phone for 30-second intervals every single day, and you put up your phone and you got to make a TikTok video talking about pretty face, small waist with a big bang. You guys are brainwashed with stupid little trends. You don't think about anything that's important ever, okay? So just wake up. Don't worry, the gram's not going anywhere. It was started by the government. So wake up and think about what's important before it's too late. Stop dividing and judging people. Stop arguing and stop dividing amongst each other. That's how they are going to take us over. Stand up for everybody's right to freely express themselves, whether or not you agree or disagree with it. And always stand against the government that's ever trying to tell you what you have to do or what you're allowed to say or what you're allowed to wear or when you're allowed to leave the house. You don't have curfews. You don't have lockdowns. Stand up and stop sleepwalking into the New World Order. In addition, in conclusion, they're conditioning you for the mark of the beast. And I know you might think it sounds crazy, but that's why it works. It's a few thousand-year-old prophecy. It said that in the end, the entire world would be taken over. They would try to make a one-world government. This was predicted thousands of years ago. They would make a one-world government, and that there would be a mark of the beast that's rolled out, and you have to take it to buy, sell, or trade, and it'll be on your wrist and forehead. Well, what a coincidence that over the course of the last year and a half, the whole world shut down on the same day as they start to build their world government, making you wear a mask one letter away from mark so you can be identified to buy, sell, and trade as you walk into stores getting scanned on your forehead and wrist. And what they're going to do is update that to a digital tracking system so they can have a one world order. It's on the back of your dollar bill. New World Order. In Latin, around the all-seeing eye on top of the pyramid. So just wake up before it's too late. They lied about the earth. They're special. The earth is special. There's land that they're hiding from us. There's resources they're hiding from us. There's technology that can help us with poverty and peace. There's enough land in the United States for like the entire world plenty of times. Okay? No, the earth's not overpopulated. They're eugenicists. They want to control who reproduces. They want to control who's allowed to live. And they're trying to convince you to be okay with it. So wake up before it's too late. Dang, that's what, we're wrapping up? Yeah, that's going to give me copyright. All right, I love you guys. Anyway, that's the conclusion. Just think about it. I know that some of this stuff sounds crazy, but wake up before it's too late. Peace out. Oh, don't copyright me. In a world. Trying to copyright me, bro. They're trying to copyright me, bro. Not today. Let me get it. Sorry, I'm trying to fix the camera. Sorry. Great work tonight. Thank you, man. Yeah, hit them thumbs up. Smash them thumbs up, though. In a world.
But they always be creepy little animals everywhere. Great background, Austin. Yeah, I know, it's awesome. Yeah, good stuff, Austin. Thank you. I'll show you guys where we are, you know. Interesting. We're gonna maybe try to find some like world's famous pizza. So what's up, guys? What is that? I was feeling down, but not now. Sweet. Thankful you're out there, bro. Thank you, man. Who's chasing you with the gangster rap? I don't know. A couple people out there. I'm gonna play the song on the outro still, though. We can do it while we're walking. Awesome stream as always. Thank you. Yas Speed. Thank you. Thanks for Vader Bear for hitting that. I gotta keep it updated. It's hard. I always forget to update the website. I'm not gonna lie. You think you could make a second channel and show the cities? What do you mean? Is that the moon? Yep, that's the moon. You think you could make... Oh, I just read that. Austin, been trying to get in touch with you, bro. Please check your Gmail. Oh, Gmail. Okay. I'll check Gmail. I usually check Proton Mail, but I'll check my Gmail. I'm still even behind on Proton Mail. I have a lot of messages. I'm trying to keep up. It's been a long tour, man, but it's been like very hectic constantly. It's like, I don't know. I just feel like I never stop, so I'm trying. Go look at the grabber spots. So. Chicago looks peaceful, no gunshots. Yeah, thank you, Holly, for the $20 PayPal. Much love. It's much appreciated. If there's a message there, I'll read it on my next computer stream. No, it's all good, bro. I'll read the Gmail. I would love to come out for support if you ever make it to Arizona. We're definitely going to come to Arizona, Wendy. I'd love to meet you. Hey, Austin, anyone reading this? Last night I was filming around midnight in Southern Cal and kept seeing old flashes or quick strobes from behind me. I'm not able to explain it fully here. Well, we all know the alien thing's coming and it's gonna come out of the water. What's up, bro? We're traveling the U.S. It's hard to travel the world now. Yeah, you want a card, bro? Oh, cool. I see you skating, bro. I'm trying to learn. It's pretty trash. Yeah, in the truck. Someone donated it to me. I'm just trying to learn. I'm trash. How long you been skating? Really? Nice. Sweet, bro. Yeah, have a good one, brother. All right. What?
Where's the other box?
Right there?
Oh, that one doesn't hold the...
Did you put it? Maybe I
Oh, you did?
I don't know. I hope so. I hope someone didn't take that back. I think I already showed you guys this, but yeah, I drink plenty of water and I drink a lot of juice too. I drink juice and water. Just not during our summer. Unfortunately, that's probably when I would be. Well, I guess like September maybe. Right, so like what we're doing, we're gonna be in Idaho August 6th, right? So we're hitting Milwaukee and then we're gonna continue west. And we got people in Minnesota and all along there. We're gonna go along the top side of the US, right? We're continuing along the top side west. So we're gonna hit all those places. I think we got a few people in Iowa. It's hard to hit everywhere, but so we'll really only have like 2 weeks. So it's gonna be a really fast-paced thing. So I'll stay on top of all the emails for sure because I'm gonna have to try to give people some heads up. It's gonna be a really fast-paced thing. We're gonna be going through. We're gonna hit like Montana also, and then we're gonna hit South Dakota. See the Mount Rushmore. We're gonna do the activism in front of Mount Rushmore. Yellowstone, Idaho, Utah. My boy Vader Bear. We're gonna keep going west, go all the way. We're probably gonna hit, even though it sucks, is what I hear. But we're just gonna have to hit all the infamous big cities, you know. And then we'll be able to have like effectively like a recap documentary that will be pretty cool. We'll have every major city. Post for the gram, just post for the gram, bro. And then we're gonna pop down the coast and then pop back over. So, and we have to get back to South Carolina by like October 24th for Flattoberfest. So there you go. It's a pretty long tour. I don't really count the first couple months. Then we had that whole month where I was out of commission, we'll say. Thank you for the 99-cent super sticker. I hope I didn't miss any super chats. So really we've been going pretty hard for like 3 months, you know. Sorry, just trying to see if I can see some super chats. Mumsy Bear, thank you very much for the $20 super chat. Much love. I know I read the first few. See, that's why I was so excited about the 360 thing, because like on the phone, right, the chat eventually gets to where it doesn't show it anymore. But like I could look at the phone, the live stream live, which I could do on my other phone. I should always forget, but like I just be able to do whatever I want to with my phone. If someone calls, doesn't interrupt. We don't have to worry about the mic going out because I don't have to charge the phone. Like that thing can charge and hold the road at the same time. So like we're gonna get the 360 figured out, and it's gonna have a way wider angle live, and I can change the orientation live. So Chris can sit over here with my iPad and just scroll through the camera angle as people come up, right? And so the streams are gonna be way better. We don't have to move the whole speaker around to try to get people. Like you can just touch my iPad and move it around and see whoever you want to see live. And then when it uploads, whoever watches it can scroll around the whole time. And we'll have the mic on the whole time, so. There you go, that's the plan. Austin's getting some sick pics. Yeah. Take care of your health, brother, you're doing great. Thank you, yeah, of course, man. Yeah, smash the Rogans up. Smash the thumbs up. Come to Tampa. We were in Florida for a while. I might end up going back to Florida, chill with my boy Forrest. What, you didn't find it? Did you find the bag? Did you find the other bag? Okay. Keep crushing, bro. Thank you, man, and thank you for the super chat, Chainsaw Cat.
Okay, here, let's put this away.
How cool is that? I got the GoPro ready, bro. If someone pops up on me acting crazy, they're getting 4K'd. Shout out to the most interesting man on Flat Earth, the behind the scenes MVP. He loves being on camera. He said he's gonna start doing those streams himself. Austin, do you think that the big fountains like that could have a bigger purpose than just visual appeal? Interesting though. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not sure, bro. I think they might just be like symbolic of something that we don't like. Yeah, symbolic of something much bigger than just, oh, it's pretty. Like, because when you look in Washington, D.C., you see the fountains and it's got like Neptune in the fountains and stuff. I don't know. We know it's all about the water. Everything's all about the water. Water's basically sentient. We were lied to about water. We know that there's things under the water. We know that the world was flooded and there's a topographical plane with different elevations, and now some of the land just still sticking out. Some of it's been underneath the ocean for all of history since the flood. And so there are ancient advancements underneath the earth. And who's to say certain things couldn't live there and inhabit it? I can't say that. Well, they could definitely go back and forth trying to get their different technology or get whatever. I don't know. Something's going on. They're coming out the water, bro. Fountains of the deep. Yeah, it might represent that. I've looked lots into Tartaria. It's very interesting. A lot of people spiral and just immediately try to say it's a lie. What's the height of each chair on the waterfall? I'm guessing 33 inches each. There's no telling. There's no telling. So we had like a pretty open-minded people, to be honest. People were stopping a lot, and like I just wanted to get a few minutes of us with the fountain. And it's really impossible for me to show you the crowd. I mean, we can show you, but like they're dead spots, and when people notice the camera face is there, sometimes they don't want to be on it. And then we look at the wide angle here, right? Like we had people all the way over here this whole time. We have people over here the whole time. We have people over here the whole time. So you just can't see everywhere. Like that's why the 360 camera is going to be so pulling if we can get the live stream to work. Believe it or not, another day of activism without giving the $100 away. What a shocker. Hey, is that speaker still on? Chris, is the speaker still on?
No.
I'm gonna play the outro.
Bluetooth on. Bluetooth connected.
So the next stream I plan on doing is gonna be a lot of gravy, bro. For real, for real. I'm gonna play the outro and catch up with you guys. And then we'll be in Milwaukee for Game 6 tomorrow. So I really just want to go home and chill. We might try and find some like world famous pizza that's pork free, of course. That gas station is not to be overlooked. The gas station is not to be overlooked. Not sure what you're talking about. But thank you for the support, Whiskey Shaman. So, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. So really just speak the truth regardless of what people think, right? And like, rejoice when they revile you for his name's sake, for they did it to all the prophets before you. I love you guys. Thanks for kicking it. Like I said, we'll be in Milwaukee tomorrow. Hopefully we have the 360 fixed out. We're going to try to trial run it between now and then. If you want to support the tour, masqueradetour.com. You can contact me and donate there. Keep up with where we're at, etc. If you want to support the tour also, $ WitsitGetsIt on Cash App, Whitsitt at protonmail.com. Thanks for all the supports on the super chats. And then the Grablas want to take 33%. I love you guys. I'll catch up with you on the flip side. I'm going to be here with you while the music plays, but anyways, seek and speak truth unequivocally. The weak find contentment in the consensus of ignorance. I really hope that sets in for whoever needs to hear that. Like, dude, who cares what dumb, weak people think? Stay organic, homie. Peace.
Way to matrix engineer that music industry until the scripts get filled. Geopolitically, yeah, we in the field. That's for Israel. Wonder is it real?
Love you guys. Thanks for kicking it.